Yo, what's up, my gamers in Christ? How are we doing today? Today is the date of January. One moment. Of January. I had to get the time. Oh shit, the music's a little loud. My bad. I had to wake you guys up a little bit. It's early in the day. It's early in the day for a lot of y'all. Anyways, today is the date of January 10th, 2025. Hope we're doing well, everybody. Hope we're doing well. 2026, I should say, actually. We've got a good amount of news to cover. Hopefully my keyboard works. It's been having some issues since I fucking spilt energy drink on it. I cleaned it up as much as I could, you know. I even busted out the ear cleaners. What are they called? Q-tips. There we go. Busted out the Q-tips. So, anyways, let me get... Oh my goodness, it's advertising my channel on the front page. That's kind of exciting. Shout out to YouTube for that. We love YouTube for that. Honestly, our viewership has been growing, and I really appreciate that, guys. You guys are kicking ass. Absolutely destroying it, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, we're gonna go through the PBS NewsHour we didn't get yesterday, and then I was thinking just a little bit of Fox News today. I was thinking Fox News, and I couldn't really decide on the other one. Candace Owens is just a slog to go through, you know? It's really tough, in my opinion, to get through a full Candace Owens video. I can do Tim Pool, Fox News, Greg Gutfeld, I can do all of them, but I'm just not able to do fucking Candace Owens, dude. She's a slog. Maybe it's because I think she's dumb. Why did I get added in Drama Farm? What did I do? Why did I get added in Drama Farm? I have no idea. Well, hopefully I didn't do anything bad to get added in Drama Farm. I'm sure it's fine. Alright, we gotta go to our server real quick. Add everybody. We are live. Oh yeah, I found an old picture or not an old picture. I found a YouTube channel that takes care of cats. And he's like a small cat kennel owner. Sorry, I'm just waking up, by the way, guys. Don't know if you could tell. But they're a small cat kennel owner, and it seems like they need help fundraising for their stuff. Oh, hold on. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't know we had some hate watchers in the chat. Oh, father son, how are you doing today? You're too cowardly to refuse arguments that challenge your silly dogma. What a silly statement. Sound like a fascist? He does sound like a fascist. 100% accurate. Amen. But anyways, sorry, I was just kind of rambling there for a minute. I didn't know we had some newbies. Let me put on my my welcoming attitude. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well. Once we get about 15 minutes in, we'll start the main show. Usually at the beginning, I just kind of ramble and wait for some new people to file in. You know what I'm saying? But father, son, it's good to see you, dog. I know you were pretty upset with me yesterday and saying some pretty bad things, but every day is a new day, in my opinion. But if you guys give me one moment, I do have to shout out my server and say I'm live. Maggots aren't known for thought. They are not very well known for that, but we're working on it. We're trying to hopefully cure that sickness that they are suffering from. We're trying. I don't know if I have no idea if it'll work, but what else can you do but try? By the way, it's good to see you, that Opal guy. Brat Wood Biking says, at Mother Son, heard Pumpkin Spice has a corn dog that needs CPR. Get to work. Amen, man. His corn dog is very dry right now. Not upset, just calling out your ignorance and cowardness. Well, I don't think I'm that ignorant or coward, or much of a coward, but I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out together. And the only way you're gonna find out if I'm a giant coward or not is if you guys make sure to like and subscribe the stream. It really helps out the channel and really gets the viewership boosted out there. I do a show every day from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and I'd really appreciate your viewership. You can't lie, that was a pretty great roll. Anyways, there's been a lot of discourse online right now about the Minnesota shooting, and I'm sure we'll talk about it here soon. Okay, I'll give you a thumbs up. Thank you, Brentwood. Much appreciated. Cowardice, not cowardness. Cowardness isn't a word, kid. No, I've just made it a word. Yeah, I agree with you, that Opal guy. I'm not that ignorant, but... Amen, sassy. Trump rather tank America than release the files, right? Where them files at, MAGA? Where they at? Where them files at? That's what I'm wondering. We'll be getting started here in about 5 minutes, folks. I just have to make sure everything's going well on my side. Breaking news, we have a grammar geek in the chat. Well, hey, grammar Nazis. I'm sure they're like a large percentage of my traffic, you know? Trump is a kid trafficker #1. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to deny that he at least knew about Jeffrey Epstein's sick actions and didn't tell anybody. That's at least, you know, that's at least from just what we know, you know, and being as charitable as possible, which in my opinion you shouldn't be, but if you want to be as charitable as possible. Good to see you, by the way. It's Spots. A sickness of the mind. I saw that earlier. I don't know if I read it. Yeah, it really is. It's like a sickness of, I just don't know. I think a lot of them did just get sold a bunch of bullshit. And for some people, it's just impossible to admit when you're wrong. I do it all the time, you know? I be getting... you know, I take L's on occasion. But I think that's totally okay. A lot of people in chat today. I know, I'm very excited. Stream not just start? No, stream just started. Yeah. YouTube algorithm blessing the stream today, which I appreciate all the support, guys. You guys are absolutely killing it. Spelling and grammar aren't the same thing. You're uneducated. Oh, geez. Look at MAGA. Look at MAGA sitting on their ivory towers of elitism and education. Isn't that what you guys were against? It's crazy how only Maxwell is the only one in prison when it's a billion-dollar industry. Amen. I mean, why, why don't we have the names of those at least verified 10 collaborators? Why don't we have a list of those names? Why did they redact those names? But they lazily redacted victim information. So isn't that interesting? Smart people don't like me. Trump. Yeah, unfortunately, that is a true statement. I only say unfortunately because he's our president. Unfortunately, yes, he did say that. Knowing the meaning of basic words isn't elitism. Thought you had no problem. I don't. I said I made that word. Didn't you hear me? I made a new word. Didn't you, did you miss that part? Yeah, sentient people aren't a fan of them. Fun fact, MAGA is the name of the 5th and highest level of the priesthood of the Church of Satan hierarchy since the 1960s. But don't take my word for it, Google it. Oh yeah. I learned that recently. I used to be really into, like all the occult stuff. I thought that stuff was really interesting, and I'm still lightly interested due to just, I have a basic spiritualism with that type of stuff, but it's kind of ironic, isn't it, that this giant Christian nationalist movement got their names also in the Church of Satan. Very interesting. Oh, dude, that's totally true. That Opal guy. Trump hires the dumbest, least qualified people. It's just insane. And it's heartbreaking for our country because it's stalling us. It's not letting us move forward. And I think that's just such a tragedy because this country is so capable of so much. And so when all we do is just fight each other and grind our gears down to the nubs, we're not doing anything. And that's what I think Trump does. I think he just keeps us stuck. We're not moving forward. We're moving backwards in a lot of aspects, but we're definitely not moving forward. So I think that is a real tragedy for our nation. Wait, it's been a while since Brentwood biking. I talked about being in a town surrounded against people disappear against you. I don't think that was Brentwood biking, no. I slightly remember that, man. No, that's not me. Well, that's good. Hey, he was interesting. He would keep... So what Brentwood biking, the reason Bill brings that up is because the dude he's talking about believed he was in a town filled with LaVeyan Satanists that were trying to get him. And I really hope he's doing good, you know? I wish the best for that man. I can only imagine the mental state he's in. Billionaires are only players. They tell you to pick a side, then pit you against one another while picking your pockets. I do agree with that to a certain extent, although I personally feel the Democrats are a lot more they're in a much better position to actually fight this corruption. And one of my biggest pieces of evidence is what you see on screen right now. You know, the billionaires all donate to Republican. There was a point in time, and I think this point in time needs to be studied in the future. I really do. But there was a point in time when the American business corporations decided to betray the American public, and it's exactly when you see them surge money to the Republicans and completely cut off the Democrats from any financial aid. I really think there needs to be a name for this period or something like that, because it's quite baffling. You see it, you know? It's a point of time when they decided to leave the Democratic Party, and in my opinion, it's when they realized they could trick the Republicans, and the Republicans won't really fight back. But I'd be interested to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. One moment, I gotta get this. I'm not able to see your guys' comments. Um, you guys want to watch Nick Fritas? He's almost out of office. Might as well. Might as well. It's kind of a lighter set of lighter episode today. Um, I've seen the full videos of Minneapolis shooting. It's fucking disgusting. Yeah, I know. It's pretty gross. It's actually just the most disgusting stuff I've ever seen. Two-sided party system is own. Well, I think the issue isn't necessarily with the two-party system, which I know is, a lot of people will disagree with me on that. But I think a bigger issue is things like gerrymandering, which prevent us from actually sending good candidates, and the filibuster, which prevent the minority party from getting anything done. And since there's such slim margins today, it's almost impossible to get a law passed. So while I do see, I see the argument against the two-party system, I think it's doing pretty well, because in a multi-party system, there comes a point when you have to continually coalition with the more right wing or the more extreme parties to get more votes, like what you're seeing in Israel. But I mean, I'm not opposed to a multi-party system. I guess I just would need to see how it's going to lead to better representation, you know? I'm all about representation. Repeal Citizens United. Amen. The great blinding and dumbing down of America. Yeah, maybe, dude. I just like look at that chart, dude. Isn't that crazy? I that chart still blows my mind that the top 100 corporate contributions completely just they abandoned the Democrats. It's actually just insane to see. Gerrymandering and insane super PACs. Yeah, that's another. Super PACs are another issue. Anyways, let's get started with our PBS NewsHour. I know we watched a little bit in the beginning. I think we'll start on the news wrap. Oh, I didn't realize we seized another tanker. Um, I need to look into it, but I was hearing reports yesterday that there was another ICE shooting. No, I could be wrong about that. But oh, hold on. I hate that it does this. What happens is it doesn't automatically grab my Brave browser. And that makes me kind of sad, okay? The Black Ops zombie thing was funny. All right. There we go. It's our queen, Amna Nawaz. You know her, you love her. Not to mention, Republicans, when they get power, are more likely to gerrymander and take a long time to undo, even if it's even possible. Well, I think an independent council or an independent commission would definitely fix a lot of things. But I agree that it is kind of hard to undo these gerrymandered districts. Idiocracy, not a bad movie. No, sir. All right, let's continue. We started watching a little last night, but we're gonna watch some more today of the PBS NewsHour. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and gets my lib message out there.
Start the day's other headlines in the Caribbean and the latest action by U.S. forces against a sanctioned oil tanker. Southern Command posted unclassified footage today of U.S. troops dropping from a helicopter onto the vessel called the Olena. In their post, officials said, quote, "There is no safe haven for criminals." U.S. government records show
put it in theater mode, ladies and gentlemen,
that the ship was sanctioned for moving Russian oil under its prior name, Minerva M. The vessel is the fifth tanker seized or apprehended by U.S. forces as the Trump administration intensifies its efforts to control shipments to and from Venezuela. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says that Russia's use of a new hypersonic missile overnight was meant to send a message to other European nations. Fragments of the Oreshnik missile were found in the western city of Lviv near the Polish border. It's only the second time that Russia has used such a weapon against Ukraine. And it comes as Ukraine and its allies reported
safe haven for criminals. Very true.
Progress this week on security guarantees. Moscow says it was retaliation for an attempted strike on one of
I know I get some pushback on this, but I really do think we need to go after these crooks once we get back in power. I mean, they have done untold damage to the American image and the people of America in general and our spirit. I really think we got to go after some of these absolute bastards, you know?
Vladimir Putin's residences last month, which Ukraine has called a lie. In his evening address, Zelensky said that European cities could be next.
There was another.
In time to come, when the opposite party takes hold, suddenly MAGA will open their eyes and notice everything they destroyed and blame it on the new admin. That is so true, dude. That is so fucking true. It's so annoying. They're gonna be like, oh, why is everything so fucking expensive? Why do our allies hate us? Why are we isolated on the world stage? Gavin Newsom, god damn it. God damn it, Gavin Newsom again, man. Stephen Miller is #1. Oh, for sure. I definitely think that guy is an absolute creep, dude.
Oryeshnik attack, this time against the Lviv region. This was again demonstratively close to the borders of the European Union, and this, from the point of view of the use of medium-range ballistics, is the same challenge for Warsaw, Bucharest, Budapest, and many other capitals.
Not even sure Donald will get through his term with his health issues. Yeah, he's not looking too good. I definitely can't argue that.
The Oreshnik missile was part of a broader Russian.
No more federal relief money for Trump supporters after disasters. No more voting rights. Well, they deserve voting rights and all that, but I mean, exactly. They'll be like, oh, why is it so hard to vote now?
Russian barrage overnight, which included an attack on Kyiv that left at least 4 people dead and 25 others injured. Thousands of apartment buildings were left without heat, even as temperatures plunged well below freezing. In Gaza today,
This is an absolute it's a fuck up of epic proportions. Right there is the guy that needs to be a war casualty. Oh, geez. You wish death on Vladimir Zelensky? Or Vladimir Putin? That's what I think is important to ask here. Vladimir Zelensky is a freedom fighter and defending his country's sovereignty. Vladimir Putin is a giant loser. Title I DOJ use of force. I don't know why you're saying that right now. I'm not sure, but I'm sensing some major bot energy.
Loved ones grieved the deaths of 13 people who officials say were killed in a wave of Israeli strikes.
Trump is saving America. How is he saving America? He's continually isolating us on the world stage. He is hemorrhaging jobs. How do you see him helping us? I'd really like to know. MAGA Parrot in the chat. Oh, these guys are common, but we love them because sometimes, occasionally, this is a rarity, but occasionally, the algorithm will serve me up to a MAGA that is actually willing to be open-minded and realize that we're not all crazy people. You know, we want what's best for America too. And occasionally they'll stick around, and that's what I really do hope for. Give me the link. YouTube automatically deletes links that you send. You'll have to go into my Discord and then go into the stream suggestions part.
One strike formed this massive crater in Gaza City. Displaced Palestinians used
But listen,
shovels to
we're talking about like something completely different, and then Sir Max D comes in here and wants to talk about fucking the Minnesota shooting, acting as if he is an investigator and he knows doctrine when it comes to force and use policy. It's very entertaining. I had no idea MAGA was full of lawyers. No, he is killing the Democrat cause to destroy America. Democrats are the enemy. What? Yeah, Democrats are the enemy. Do I need to flash the statistics? You want to see the real traitors to America, MAGA? It's the Republican Party. This is the campaign contributions of the 100 wealthiest Americans. And right around the 2023 mark, it looks like, what's that? Oh, it looks like they stopped donating to Democrats and start donating to Republicans. You want to know why? Because they knew they could trick the Republicans, and the Republicans don't have the American people's interest at mind. They have the top 1%'s interest at heart. That's why they stopped donating to Democrats. They realized they didn't have to play the game with Donald Trump. Anyways, hopefully you guys take that in good earnest. The Yahtzees murdered that poor... Oh, don't get it twisted. I'm not MAGA. Oh, my bad. Well, I'm so sorry about that, dog. It's early in the morning, so I'm unable to evaluate properly, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, I was just reading the chat. I'm a punk, apparently. That's interesting. Stop crying. Well, you can't tell me what to do. The Republicans are interested in the top 1%. Why are most billionaires Democrats? That's just a lie, bro. Most billionaires are Democrats. That's just a lie, man. I'm registered Republican, but would never in a million years support this creep admin. I have eyes. See, exactly, Brentwood Viking. You're like the type of person I hope will eventually come into my chat and realize that Democrats aren't all pieces of shit. But Sir Max D, I do appreciate you sending that in there. If you want to join my Discord and send it in stream suggestions, I can send the link real quick. Let me get it. I'm going to continue the news hour, though.
Clear sand and other debris. Israel's army
Ooh,
says that it
bro,
targeted
no
Hamas.
way. You're gonna hurt my feelings with that one, Joseph. Did you just call me a Democrat? Whoa, bro. Hold on. Hold on, man. They're trash and they support the pedos. That's why the Trump admin is hiding the Epstein files to protect Democrats, I guess.
Mass operations and
Here,
that
let
the
me send the Discord in the link in the text real quick.
strikes were a response to a failed projectile launched by militants. Meantime, former UN diplomat
If anybody
Nikolai
wants to
Mladenov
join the
met
Discord,
with senior
feel
Palestinian
free
officials
to.
in the West Bank today. He's been tapped for President Trump's so-called Board of Peace, which
Democrats are definitely the whole problem with this country. See, I think that attitude is the whole problem, dude. The attitude of thinking all of your enemies suck and they all are evil is so smooth-brained. Brentwood Viking, break over. Hey, well, it was good seeing you, man. It was good seeing you. I hope to see you in the future here. Murphy's done been brainwashed. Unfortunately, he has been, but we can get him back. We can get him back. Oh, Joey just throwing accusations of pedophilia. Well, if I think there's far more evidence that Donald Trump is a pedophile than evidence of even anyone in this chat being a pedophile. I think there's way more evidence to support that statement than whatever you just said. Yeah, Joey is projecting major right now. That's why Dems like their tax money over the sex terrorist groups. I don't. We send our tax money over to sex terrorist groups? I had no idea we were doing that. That's crazy. Well, you do bring up a good point, that Opal guy. Drag queens are the #1 problem in America right now. You bring up a good point. You bring up a good point. Get a real job wannabe. Well, this is actually, I'm doing this before my job. I have to go to work here in about, let's see, what time is it? I start at 10. I have to go to work at 3. It's 10:34. So I stream a little bit and then I go out and do my real job. This is just for fun, my friend.
Trump himself
Whoa,
is
using the Q word out here.
Next week. In Switzerland, prosecutors are asking that a co-owner of
Crazy that Republicans care more about saving a dime than our constitutional order. Yeah, I know. Well, they'd fall on a bullet just to save Donald Trump's legacy or whatever they're calling it.
Bar where a deadly fire broke out on New Year's.
Yeah, his self-admission of walking in on teens dressing. I'm sorry. Pedo Pete. I don't know who Pedo Pete is. I've never heard that before. Anyways.
Held in custody. Officials argued that Jacques Moretti presents a flight risk. His wife and co-owner will remain
You pity
free.
the people. See, I don't pity the people that have to work with you. That's what you're not understanding. You guys are out here yelling at me, screaming your heads off, and thinking I'm the enemy. I'm not the enemy. I'm just some dude on YouTube. You guys are actively trying to paint us as if we're all these evil and corrupt people, but in reality, we're just Americans, dude. And I see most Republicans as just Americans who voted on, in my opinion, a set of lies from Donald Trump. So it's not like I'm trying to come out here and paint all Republicans as if they're evil. As a matter of fact, I do think there are good Republicans like Thomas Massie. The problem is you guys are capitulating to everything Donald Trump wants. And that's not what a functional party does. A functional party has a wealth of ideas, not just one person deciding everything.
Under judicial supervision. Meanwhile, church bells rang out
Democrats
the
are the liars, apparently, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even count on my own two hands how many times Donald Trump has lied. He's lied so much, I'm gonna have to have like 20 extra hands.
across Switzerland as the
Trump
country
got it right. Yeah, that's what you guys voted for foreign intervention, right? I remember you guys voting for foreign intervention. That's very interesting. By the way, guys, if you're appreciating the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. I do a show every day from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. where I talk about the news, politics, and all that fun stuff. So if that interests you guys, remember to like and subscribe. Also, if you guys have any disagreements, feel free to come into my Discord and let me know.
held a national day of mourning for the 40 people killed in the blaze. More than 100 others were
one time well, he didn't just say something racist. He got indicted for something racist, for discriminating against black people for housing licenses. So
investigation suggests that sparklers and champagne bottles ignited the blaze. In Europe, hundreds of thousands were without power today after a massive Atlantic storm brought heavy snow, high winds, and drenching rain across the region.
That's an interesting one. I like that. Can I potentially take that one from you, Michael? See, right there, Murphy said we will eventually eradicate stupidity. Do you guys hear me saying that about Republicans? We're going to eradicate the Republicans? What type of language is that to have for your fellow Americans? What kind of language is that?
From places like the Czech Republic to the UK.
Jesus was woke and will destroy Trump. Hey, you know what? I am a fan of Christians that use their teachings against the MAGA message, so I think that's super great that you're, from what, I'm not a Christian, but my mother is, and from what she's told me about Christianity, Donald Trump is completely against all of those ideals.
Plows were out in full force.
You're gonna look or avoid. It's a lie. Bill Gates, George Soros, LeBron James? LeBron James was on Epstein's Island? Are we just naming famous Democrats? I mean, we can both play this game.
With some areas seeing more than a foot of snow. That left cars stranded and roads a mess. Where snow didn't fall, many trees did from high winds. In areas along the
it is very cowardly. I'll check the Discord real quick. Maybe some people joined and I didn't notice. Nope. Not yet.
Channel residents and work crews were
That's
cleaning
okay.
up the debris today.
It's hard to confront the fact that Trump is failing America and isn't delivering on his promises. So
meantime, in parts of the Balkans, entire communities remain underwater from days of heavy rains. At least one person has died.
Kids, you are perfect the way your parents and God made you. See, I think people are just great regardless of, I think they're just great people.
And many more have been rescued from the flooding. And on Wall Street today, stocks ended the week with solid gains following that
law over church. That's
monthly
interesting.
Jobs report. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added more than 230 points. The Nasdaq jumped nearly 200 points.
Pin the link
S&P
and click.
500 also
Maybe here. Let me try something real quick. Pin that message right there.
Posted a solid gain. And a rare copy of the comic book that introduced the world.
You just want me to name famous billionaire Republicans? I don't even have to name one of them. I can just name the Heritage Foundation. We have individuals that are rich. You have whole conglomerates trying to run the country.
Man has sold for a record $15 million. Action Comics #1 cost just 10 cents when it was published.
Oh, really? Red Domingo? Then why is the percentage of donations to Democrats not very high, and it's extremely high for Republicans. Look at that image right there and tell me why that is if the Democrats are all billionaires. This is the campaign contributions of the 100 wealthiest Americans. They're all going to Republicans. None of them are going to Democrats anymore. You want to know why? Because the American companies realized that the Republicans are willing to shill and betray the American people, and the Democrats aren't. That's why.
Published in 1938. It includes Superman's origin story.
Scamming the country. How are Democrats the ones scamming the country? Please explain to me. Are you talking about Nick Shirley going around and talking to children? Are you talking about Nick Shirley's children watching video?
And helps set the stage for the super.
See right there, you are a USA traitor. How I would never call my fellow Americans traitors, but unfortunately, you guys have a mindset and a cult like mentality to just hate everything that goes against your narrative. Well, I'm here to break that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to get you out of that. I'll be your guide. Take my hand.
Hero genre, we know.
See right there, Biden allowed 20 million invaders in. Also, immigrants are not invaders. That's disgusting to say. But the number of illegal, undocumented people went from, I believe it was 11 million to 14 million by the time Biden left office. Not 20 million. Get your facts right.
The copy was once stolen from the home of
a bunch of lazy ass handout fucking woke jokes. Well, why don't you start up your own stream, Red Mango? Why don't you do that? Something tells me you're not very charismatic.
It's one of about 100 copies.
Yes, this is a TDS live stream. We're all suffering from Trump derangement syndrome out here. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, gets me boosted out there in the stream atmosphere. I do a show every day from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. where I talk about news, politics, and all that sort of thing. So if that interests you, give a like and subscribe.
Known to exist today. The company that negotiated the private sale says the book's owner and buyer wish to remain anonymous. Put another way,
they don't even want to talk about it. I'm offering the hand right now for you to come into my Discord and talk about it, but something tells me you're not going to. And they're not trying to block ICE on specifically the shooting in Minnesota. We don't know what happened, and that's why a investigation is so important. But unfortunately, your guys' DOJ is blocking the investigation from happening completely. It's insane. You guys should want justice for an American citizen shot in cold blood, but you guys don't seem to care. You're so willing to lay down American lives just to protect the prestige of an agency that is very apparently trying to be turned into a paramilitary organization by Trump. I don't get it. I don't.
They don't want to reveal their secret identities. Still to come on the News Hour. Oil executives meet with
TDS
President
meds
Trump
available at
about
Walmart. We
rebuilding
accept
Venezuela's
EBT. Oh, how inclusive.
oil industry.
Don't worry, I've got a big supply of TDS meds. I believe you have to take ivermectin, correct? Yeah, I've got a lot of ivermectin. I'm stocking up on it.
Jacob Soboroff chronicles the devastating Los Angeles fires 1 year
I got
later.
some more powerful stuff
And
they
David
usually
Brooks
give
and
to
Jonathan
horses to
Capehart weigh
deworm
in
them,
on the
but
week's political headlines.
I've got some powerful stuff, don't you worry.
This is the PBS NewsHour from the David M. Rubenstein studio at WETA in Washington, headquarters of PBS News.
Let's go. By the way, guys, make sure to like and subscribe to PBS NewsHour. They are a super valuable service, and with one of the biggest companies funding them voting themselves out of existence recently, They really do need all the public support they can get. So guys, please remember to go to PBS NewsHour, like and subscribe. That's where I tell people, if you want an unbiased view, I say go to PBS NewsHour, because they do give both sides of the argument. It's not just lib cuck island out there. So go support PBS. They are such a valuable service.
Protests across Iran today continued to grow despite a nationwide blackout implemented overnight.
Yeah,
with
this is
sources
huge news for the people of Iran. You're not going to catch me supporting the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah is a madman who is holding his country holding his country by the throat, in my opinion.
is telling the NewsHour it is the largest ever cutoff in Iran's history.
What started as street marches against crippling inflation in the autocratic state have quickly grown to become one of Iran's largest protest movements in years, as calls for Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei's
Yeah, I've
ouster
been hearing
mount.
this is maybe this might be the biggest protest in Iran's history. So this is big news for the people of Iran. I really hope they get a representative democracy that they deserve.
Stephanie Tsai begins our coverage.
In Iran, defiance reignited. Hundreds of thousands marched across the nation, tearing up flags of the Islamic Republic.
Oh, I'm seeing some cope real quick. LOL, he said started to say illegal. Yeah, being here illegally is not a federal crime. It's a civil offense. So even if you're here illegally, I don't believe that means you're a horrible bad person. Didn't Trump say he was going to go after the criminals, not just the people committing civil offenses? Didn't he say that?
And chanting, "Death to the dictator, Ayatollah Khamenei." This bloodied protester yells, "I am not scared. I have been dead for 47 years.
What a brave woman. Truly, what a brave woman. I mean, she is at risk of losing her life, and yet she's standing up. This is what I love to see. I love freedom and democracy and the will of the people being respected,
That was when Iran's Shah, Reza Pahlavi, was deposed in the Islamic Revolution, and Ruhollah Khomeini took power. It's the former monarch's son, the exiled crown prince, who has gone on social media to call for nightly protests in recent days and deal the, quote, final blow to the regime.
Now, what's interesting is if the monarch does come into power, do you guys see the people willing into wanting a democracy or being okay with a monarchy with democratic qualities? I'd be interested to hear your guys' opinions on that.
Are nostalgic for the past, hanging the pre-revolutionary flag on statues of the ruling clerics and waving it in the streets.
Okay, you can't lie. That is badass. These people are they're really fighting for their country, and I have nothing but respect for them.
The protests began nearly 2 weeks ago amid a failing economy and rising prices, and quickly morphed into mass protests across all 31 provinces.
You know what's sad? The people of Iran are so smart, dude. They become doctors. They become, just very people in higher education typically. And I just feel so bad that they're in a repressive regime that believes in, just things that fundamental Islam and stuff. I just don't think that's where people want to live. It's the same argument I have here for why Christian nationalism is so stupid. It's the same argument.
Protesters calling for an end to a government that gives religious leaders ultimate control. Videos from protests around the country were posted on social media. This one showing protesters.
Lonerbox had a couple of Iranian citizens on his stream recently, and it was very interesting to get their perspective on things. they're very excited for this too, but they're also cautious.
Cameras, as they called for the end of the regime. Authorities cut off internet and phone access in Iran on Thursday.
By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. It really boosts the channel, gets the lib message out there. I do a stream every day from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. where I talk about the news, politics, and all that sorts of stuff. I also have shorts content that I put out pretty daily that goes over news stories that I wasn't able to cover on stream or just something I wanted to highlight. So if that interests you guys at all, please remember to like and subscribe.
Human rights groups say security forces have killed at least 48 protesters. Today, video surfaced showing lifeless bodies scattered on the streets of Fardis, 25 miles west of the capital. 2,000 protesters have been arrested, and authorities have said they'd be shown no leniency. More than a dozen security officers have also been killed. Today, the country's supreme leader blamed the uprising on U.S. interference.
Now, this is why I am not advocating for U.S. intervention into this, because any side that gets U.S. support is not going to be seen as legitimate by the people. It's just not, because they've grown up their entire lives, basically learning that the USA is the devil. And so while they may be against the Iranian regime, they are probably at first going to be very wary of American influence. And I would just let this happen personally.
In Tehran and some other places, a bunch of vandals showed up and destroyed buildings belonging to their own country, just to please the U.S. president. His hand is stained with the blood of Iranians.
President Trump repeated a warning to Iran today.
I just hope the protesters in Iran are going to be safe, because it's a very dangerous place right now. And again, I tell the Iranian leaders, you better not start shooting, because we'll start shooting too.
Iranian
well,
Foreign
they've
Minister
already
Abbas
started,
Araghchi
Mr. Trump. They've already started up, my friend. I think you failed in that goal.
The possibility of military intervention is very unlikely because it has been a failed experiment in the past.
But only last June, the United States launched a court.
God has nothing but information and lies. True. Trump is making the world great. Oh, that's great. This guy's a real fan of the spheres of influence. You like using 1930s ideology? That's interesting.
Coordinated attack.
So you want him to attack? No, not really. It's difficult, right? Because like I said earlier, if America intervenes, then they're going to be seen as kind of whatever party they choose as the adversary of a much bigger game. So it's a very touchy situation. I am a lifelong liberal, and up to this point, I've tried to be understanding, but this shit is making me so angry. You all have turned into such pieces of garbage. How have I turned into a piece of garbage? I'm just chilling here. What have I done? We did care about Lincoln Riley, however, that was during the Biden administration. Oh, okay. So now when something happens, you guys don't care. Thanks for playing the game, man. Really appreciate that. Unfortunately, I love this country, so I'm not here to just play stupid partisan games. I'm here to be actually pragmatic.
With Israel.
Here we fucking go. People acting as if they are investigators, crime investigators in my chat. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Gob, for pretending to be a crime scene investigator.
Iran's nuclear enrichment sites. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Stephanie Sy.
For perspective,
no, it hasn't. America has not been that. They are very anti-West in the region. So supporting the protesters, even if the protesters ask for it, may not be a great idea. Well, I don't know. If they're asking for it, then I would definitely want to send in aid. Liberals want to change America. They can get, I don't want to, what do you think I'm trying to change? I really want to know. What do you think I'm trying to change? I love America, dude. I think this place is the coolest place in the entire world. I think you guys hate America because you guys see aspects of American culture and you rail against them. You rail against diversity. You rail against freedom. You rail against liberty. That's why you guys hate America.
These protests in Iran and how the government there is responding. We turn now to Vali Nasser, professor.
Well, again, we talked about this yesterday, but this idea of assimilation, it's not just like a quick process, and it's not necessarily a progress bar. You know, you're like 10% assimilated, 100%. It's a gradual thing over time that happens through generations, and I think there are aspects of other cultures that are super valuable, dude. And that's why I think the Western liberal ideals are so strong, because they can stand up and they can hold their own against so many ideologies. It's not weak, it's strong. You guys are the one that think the American culture is weak, to think that other cultures are going to dominate it. So, by the way, the numbers of illegal immigrants during the time Biden was in office went from 11 million to 14 million, not 20 million.
Of International Affairs and Middle East Studies at the Johns Hopkins University School of Advanced International Studies. His latest book is Iran's Grand Strategy, A Political History.
Well, Red Domingo, doesn't that make you proud, though? Doesn't that make you proud of your generation? Or of the generation after you? That they are willing to be so politically active. Jan 6 was an attack on our democracy, much like Pearl Harbor, so I could see it.
Vali, welcome back to the show. And before we get to the regime and the response, I want to ask you about these protests, the speed with which they grew, the scale to which they've now spread. What does that say to you about the Iranian people?
What about what am I saying is hate-filled, Gob? I really want to know. Yeah, exactly. Keyboard warriors in the chat today, ladies and gentlemen. What am I saying that is hate-filled? I think that's embarrassing to say. I love my fellow Americans regardless of their partisan alignments. I just want what's best for America. Oh, I'm generalizing. Okay, right. American miss traditional. What's the traditional American culture that you miss, my friend? What is the American traditional culture that you are not seeing right now? And then they scam. Do you process guilty as guilty, illegal is illegal? You gotta go bye. Wait, I gotta go? No, I think we need to provide a process for these people to come out of the shadows and truly, and I mean truly, come out of the shadows and be able to become American citizens.
Anger in Iran is very serious.
MAGA misses white culture. Yeah, they do. But it's just so embarrassing because a lot of our greatest assets have come from immigrants to this land because they didn't have their own bounty and they had to make it for themselves. Isn't that the American dream? Isn't that what you guys want? And there is a process, but the process is extremely long and extremely hard. If we opened up ways for people to immigrate here, it would create less of an incentive for people to come here illegally. A melting pot is what I'm missing. Now it's a soup with a whole bunch of different things put into the clumping. I disagree. Where's the huge fights between cultures right now. I don't see it. Are you upset with having more shawarma places? Like, you know?
It's growing. It has been there for some time. It's now been aggravated by a worsening economic situation and also a sense of despondency that nothing's going to change with Iran. There are no negotiations with the U.S. There's no sanctions relief.
The Bible says it's okay to own slaves. Does that mean it's okay to own slave, Red to Mango? I'm assuming you're a Christian. Oh, Red to Mango is doing the sun god fallacy, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, pretty sure George Washington was a Christian, but I could be wrong. I'm sure somebody will fact check me. You're doing the sun god fallacy. So if the cultures before me worshipped the sun god, we should all just worship the sun god and follow the sun god's laws, because, I mean, everything goes back to the sun god anyways, so let's just worship their laws. No, America has changed, and if you look at the founding fathers, they were not Christianly men. Okay, that you would fit into this neat, perfect box of Protestant Christian.
There's no prospects of real change in Iran, and all of this is coming to a head. And I think also the protesters will have been emboldened by the support that they're receiving from President Trump, and
No,
a sense
dude, I just
that
think
perhaps
that people aren't trying to keep America as America. I think they're trying to make it similar to their homes, not... See, that's just normal of any culture. When they first move here, they're gonna, you know, do things that remind them of their home. But then, their next generation will do more quote-unquote, American things. And then the next generation is basically fucking as American as apple pie. Okay? Like, look at... Okay, everybody's pointing at the Somali community like, oh my god, look how bad these people are. They're business owners. A lot of these people are business owners and people who create jobs for the economy. But all you guys see are just a bunch of black people, and you think, oh god, they're stealing our money. No, not at all. Somalian Americans are amazing members to our society.
the Islamic Republic is more vulnerable this time than it has been in the past.
What should we take away from what we see in the way of the regime response so far? As we mentioned, internet cut off, dozens killed, thousands arrested, but it's not as brutal a crackdown as we've seen to protests in years past.
We should live in teepees and longhouses. That's what the Native Americans did. A lot of Somalis. You don't know that. See, there we go. There are 90,000 Somalian Americans here. And the vast majority of them are not committing fraud. Only 60 people have been indicted due to fraud, and the head of that ring was a white woman. So please, please, please tell me how you know that a lot of Somalis commit fraud.
Why do you think that is?
Well, first of all, I think the Iranian regime thinks that during the June war with Israel, the Iranian public did not rise up. And that was very important to Iran's survival in that war. And I think they thought that they had created at least a bond of nationalism with the Iranian public. And they did not want to break that easily by reacting very adversely to the protests. Secondly, the protests were economic when they began, and economic.
Well, they're just starting out into this country. Of course, they've only been here for 30 years, man. Of course they're going to have a higher rate of government dependence. But over time, I'm sure that'll drop. And why do you see that and say, "Oh God, there must be fraud," rather than, "Oh geez, we need to help these people." But whatever, I guess. Over 90 Somalis indicted? That's not true. It's just 60. Just 60.
Protests in the past have not been very threatening to the regime. It is only when they became much more about toppling the regime.
Oh, geez. Now I'm seeing conflicting numbers. We're seeing 78, 68. Now we got 39.
The Islamic Republic and then they found support from President Trump, that the Islamic Republic decided that the protests needed to be cracked down.
I'm from Portland. I watched him spin this shit right back around. It's fucking hilarious and so blatantly obvious. Red, I think you just like the sound of my voice, man. I think that's it. Nobody on welfare for 30 years? Are we so you think they've all been on welfare for 30 years? That is an interesting mindset to have.
What do you make of that threat from President Trump? I mean, do you believe that the Iranian regime thinks if they crack down more severely?
No, I'm asking for the American agencies to actually fund the IRS to go after fraud. And then I'm asking for us to surge resources once there's no fraud found. You guys are the ones that are asking for there to just be a wanton ejecting of these amazing people. Oh my God, I'm handing over your American livelihood. Jesus, bro, can you stop being dramatic for 5 seconds? This isn't a fucking play, you know? High school's over, man.
Text for Americans to intervene.
I think they take that threat very seriously, and I think
I think your voice sounds like a confused, delusional person. Thank you. That means a lot to me. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. Really helps out the stream, gets the lib message out there. I am a lib streamer, and I stream 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and I talk about the news, politics, and more. So if that sounds interesting, I can subscribe. Imagine 3,040 years from now, I don't even think we'll be human. We'll probably be in a brain. We'll be a brain in a jar.
Have assumed all along that domestic stability in Iran is an important signal as to whether Israel or the United States will decide to attack or not. Secondly, they watched what happened in Venezuela, and they decided that President Trump could cross red lines and take actions that previously nobody assumed that he would.
He's under God's wing. I would see, this is some cope. You guys are saying Donald Trump is chosen by God. Listen to what you're saying. Am I Antifa? Oh yeah, dude. Trans-Tifa headquarters right here. Trans-Tifa headquarters. We've got femboys against capitalism. That's what we do here. Femboys and queens against capitalism. So if that doesn't sound interesting to you guys, I don't know. Stick around. It might be interesting. I think Putin is absolutely fucking crazy. He was born inbred. Yeah, hey, at least we can agree on that. You see some people on the right, like, supporting Putin, and it's really scary because I don't think any of my fellow Americans would support Putin. You know what I mean? That's crazy to me. Putin's fucking evil, bro. A lot of my grandmother, her daughter all wiped out fool cards, and I'm on SSI disability. Can't even get, I'm 62. How is that fair? Worked 45 years of my life. How is that fair? I think that's completely unfair, and I think you deserve, it sounds like you did a lot of great things for the American public. So I think you deserve to be lifted up and treated like an equal member of society. Antifa pussies, libtards, Trump rules. Trump bet president ever, down with the libtard lesbian. I'm gonna go kiss my father. That's you, Frank.
And it is not beyond a realm of possibility that the United States may attack Iran, try to eliminate the leadership in Iran in a way that
As a Portlander who has constantly got riots on my city, I see zero consequences, absolutely none. What do you mean? That's interesting. Zero consequences. I'd like expand on that. Millions and millions of dollars in damage. Well, I'm assuming these places are insured. They don't even know what the fuck they're protesting for. They're paid. Okay, you can't say they don't know what they're protesting for and then they're paid. Like, if I'm paying for someone to protest, I'm at least going to tell them what they're protesting for. Bailing out, have a great day. We disagree on almost all topics, but we are both Americans. Peace, love, and God bless you. Hey, thank you, user. I do appreciate that. That's okay. You're kissing my mom? That's interesting. Trump is literally a child molester. Very true.
And I think they think that the direction of the protest may signal to Washington that Iran is...
Oh, people who hate on Trump. People who practice their American fucking right to exercise their freedom of speech are hurting America. Listen to what you're saying right now, dude. Listen to the absolute bullshit coming out of your mouth. And I've seen you. I swear I've seen you, Patriot. Like, come on, dude. I'm hurting America? Just me and my fucking libcuck island over here? Come on.
Is weak enough that the regime may fall with a military strike. So I think they take that very seriously. And
well, the reason I see the comparison fairly true, Red to Mango, is because it was an attack on our democracy. It was they wanted to overturn an election done by the people, dude. And however way you cut that, that's not right.
that's what's different this time. In other words, domestic protests are not enough.
Hey, Free Palestine protests, I think there should be a two-state solution. But I won't lie, like, the Free Palestine movement has definitely become something that I don't even recognize anymore. They've just become so anti-Semitic and hateful, and it's heartbreaking because I think the people of Palestine deserve good representation. And when all you have are just people who hate on America and say Israel is not a real state, you're not being constructive to the conversation. Where does the paid protester myth come from? Just George Soros stuff. Biden stole the 2020 election. All right, Matthew, that's just not true. Movement of dumb Democrats oppo. Well, I won't lie, some of our, people like Hassan are pretty bad representatives, in my opinion. Well, Red, here's what I have to say. Just because you saw a video, there are 1,000... you want to hear something fucking crazy? And this relates to the pro-Palestine stuff. So, I was on Instagram, and I was just in Reels, and I was scrolling, and I saw a video, and it was very obviously, in my opinion, fake, of a Hasidic Jewish person stealing a African-American person's money, straight up, just mask off, and then beating him up. And it was so obviously faked, but you go to the comments and everybody believed it, So, I don't know. It's a crazy thing to watch. Well, like I said, I wouldn't just trust videos. And I'm not saying, by the way, I just want to make sure I'm not saying Maduro was a good person. The issue comes when you need to... Am I anti-Hamas? Yes, I'm not a fan of Hamas. I think Hamas have they're destroying the image. They're destroying the Palestinian people's lives. And they are used as fuel for the far right of the Israeli regime. So, no, I'm not a fan of Hamas at all.
Themselves threatening, they are threatening to the regime.
But see, guys, I'm a lot more reasonable than a lot of the, it's easy to just see videos and become very jaded.
They are combined with an external threat coming from
there are
the
people
United
across
States.
the aisle that
All
are
factors-
willing to talk to you and all that type of stuff.
taken into consideration, what's your assessment of the leadership in Iran right now? Are they at their weakest point? Could external intervention topple this regime?
And if you want to talk about paid protesters, trust me, brother, the Republicans have their fair share of paid protesters too. I don't even know if what you're saying is true. It's just a video. But let's say that is true. I just want to... Oh, wow. Here we go. This is not a Christian nation. I directly refuted that. You're doing sun god fallacy shit. And you're mad because I know the truth. And the truth is that our founding fathers designed this nation to be free of any influence from Christianity, any influence from religions. And you're not going to change that narrative because we have an amazing thing called the Constitution, which ensures that the separation of church and state is to be maintained. So if you want to fight that, if you want to go against our Constitution, feel free to, but there have been many that tried and there will be many more that will fail.
I think the regime will not be easily toppled, and the size of the protests have to be much larger for a much longer period of time. But I think Iran is finding
Yeah, if you want to go to a Christian nation, move to Uganda or something, dude.
itself in a
Go to Russia. You know what? If you guys want to live in a Christian nation so bad, go to Russia. They're a Christian nation. Something tells me, though, you don't want to live in Russia because you know how shitty it is to live in Russia. You should be thankful that the American founding fathers were such smart people that they designed a constitution that can last so long and protect our rights. You should be thankful.
That it has not done before.
And something else I think you guys, something that's to note, you guys should be thanking the Union every day. Every day you should be thanking the Union and spitting on the Confederate flag because we let you go home. I just want to make that apparent. We let the Confederate Army go home. If you were in a place like Russia, like China, that wouldn't have happened. They would have mowed you down. But we let the Confederate movement go home. You want to know why? Because we believe in the brotherly bond. That's something Trump wants you to get rid of. And something I fight every day for.
Even if these protests go away, the situation before the Islamic Republic.
Oh yeah, and you'll be locked up for even speaking out against Russia. It's sad.
Republic is not going to change.
Armenia is one of... Okay, I thought you said America. I was like, hold on now.
It's still fake.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point, Snowset. Look at what happened in Chile during the Cold War. I like to bring up the example of Iraq. It was just, everybody was celebrating, down with Saddam. It was such a good time. And then just 3 months later, the IEDs started blowing up in our faces and American troops started dying.
Facing a threat of war with the United States and Israel, and its economic situation is only going to get worse.
So do you think the more moderate a person is, the less publicity they get because you have established the left like Dean and Parker and the right? I think they are bigger. Well, I do agree with you. People who say the most sensationalist things get the most clicks. You know what I mean? But the way I'm trying to fight against that is trying to provide a moderate voice that will break through that noise, you know? And I think we have to hold our leaders accountable, but also I don't think Dean and Parker are necessarily insane voices, you know? Oh, I think that's what you were saying, though. My bad.
So I think the regime is...
And I think, you know what? I will say Dean and Parker are, they're getting a lot bigger, you know? I'm really impressed. They're very young and they're doing a lot with their platform. You got to give it to them that they're doing good. It's very impressive to see how they've been doing.
Is not only trying to deal with the protests right now, it's trying to figure out how it's going to...
But thank you guys so much, by the way, for all the support I've been receiving. You guys are absolutely killing it with the likes today. We're up to 18 likes. And that's huge, you know. My streams used to get only like 5 likes, so it means the world to me that you guys appreciate my content and appreciate the voice I have to offer. It means the world to me. Thank you guys so much.
How might it change in order to improve the situation before it? And all of this is quite new.
Vali, in the minute or so we have left, I want to ask you about the exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, who was the first to call for these protests that we've seen spread across Iran in the last couple of days. Does the fact that the protests grew as they did say something about his level
Ukraine is the second most actually Christian nation in Europe, only surpassed by Poland, and yet MAGA is totally fine with painting everyone as Satan worshiper devils who deserve it. Yeah, right? Like, you know what I think is especially sad about the Ukrainian story is we promised them security guarantees when they got rid of their nukes. We promised them, and then we reneged on our promise and took that back. I mean, I actually see a lot of MAGA saying, yeah, what's happening in Ukraine is like a huge travesty.
Support on the ground.
I think it's very important in rallying the public and giving the protesters.
See, in Red Mango here, Red to Mango, painting me as if I'm some evil criminal. I don't think Red to Mango's an evil criminal. I think I think he's probably a good person, but he's painting me as somebody who commits fraud.
There's a purpose, particularly those protesters who want an end to the Islamic Republic. They see in him the promise.
Trump taking Greenland, well, that's against the Constitution to just take countries wanton. So that would require some congressional approval. I don't think he's going to do that.
Different, and there is nostalgia.
I think it's horrible what we're doing to our alliances, threatening longtime alliances like Colombia just because we don't like their president. I think that's a real travesty.
About the Shah's period. However, he doesn't have a ground game in Iran. In other words, he doesn't have a political organization, political representation, and he hasn't built a coalition that cuts.
Well, you know what? I'll meet you is it a guy named DGAF? I will say, I think I can give Trump credit where credit is due. I think the idea of the Trump accounts is amazing. Now, there are real issues that I have with it, like the idea that if you're not putting in the maximum amount of money, you're not going to get the returns that you should get. But I think it's a great idea. You know, I think it needs work, but I think that's a great idea. And it's something that addresses, in the long term, American affordability. However, right now, I do feel like we need to do things like addressing price gouging and addressing affordability just right now, because it is really getting out of hand. Hey, good to see you, Cesaro. Great community member right there. Really appreciate it. I see he's in IR Eyes chat a lot, and I really appreciate his perspective on things. What's up, man?
Across various social sectors and social groups in order to be able to take these protests beyond.
Canadian, I love Americans and your country. I can't believe you guys are letting Trump treat us and your other friends like this. I know, man. And I'm so sorry that things are the way they are right now, because I think that you are an amazing ally and you guys have done so much for the NATO alliance and just so much for the world in general. So I hope you still stick with us through the 3 years, although I know it's going to be hard. But you know, at least Trump is such a fuck up that he made you guys elect a liberal, you know, is it a prime minister or president? I can't quite remember, but hey, at least we got that.
On just lashing out against the Islamic.
Well, hold on. You can't say, you know, the stocks are always going to be at an all-time high. You know, the stocks are always going to be there. That's what they're supposed to do. The tariffs aren't a good idea, though. We're putting a giant trade wall up with everybody, and I think targeted tariffs are great. Prime Minister? Okay, bet. But I think prime ministers, I think tariffs are a great tool in the toolbox, but I don't think just putting a wanton trade wall up with the world is gonna do anything. It's just gonna make people buy from China more. And by the way, when we get rid of Venezuelan oil, it makes China lean more on Russia. So, while, I don't know if this was a great idea.
Republic towards a vision of for the day.
Imagine that Billy Martin wanted to quote "Under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance, but then scurried off when asked when it was added because admitting it doesn't fit his narrative. I just think that you're right about tariffs too. Yeah, tariffs can be great, but I just don't think that if this trade wall is doing anything. It's losing American jobs. We're hemorrhaging jobs right now.
Day after. So I think it's very important at this point in time. And however, with the internet cutoff, because it doesn't have...
They'll definitely put your brain in a jar. They're going to study stupid. Well, I hope so. Can I at least get a cool mecha robot body? I think that'd be fun.
Political organizations inside Iran.
By the way, guys, if you're new, please remember to like and subscribe. I do a show every day from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. where I talk about the news, politics, and more. Once we're done with PBS here, we'll be going over our rightoid of the day, which is a mix of Nick Fritas and Fox News. So get excited for that. In Canada, going to start selling more of our heavy oil to China because that's what kind of refineries they're set up for. Hey, I'm a big fan of just... I think this idea of military competition is so stupid, dude. Because if we had cooler heads in office, we could talk about this stuff. Just like, I try to talk to my fellow MAGA brethren, and I try to talk to people from all across the world. Like, I think it's so stupid that we don't try to extend our hands out. I'll give you this. It's the First Democratic channel who hasn't silenced or muted me, so you get a thumbs up for that. Well, thank you, man. Hey, I know we disagree, but this is what it's about, is meeting in the middle, and because in forging a better future for America, because we all love America at the end of the day, like all of the Americans, and we all love this place. And so I just want what's best for us and what's best for America. Wish your government was as cool-headed as you, man. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But right now, we do have issues like gerrymandering, which means the most partisan candidates get sent to the Congress, and then the filibuster totally prevents us from actually getting any bills passed,
It's very difficult.
My missile is bigger than your missile mentality. Very true. Very true.
See how he would be.
And this idea of like Western Hemisphere dominance, there's a reason we left it in the past.
Able to influence things going forward.
Vali Nasser, always good to
If
speak.
you live in New York, you're going to give all your money to these rich socialists. I'm actually kind of excited to see what Mamdani is doing. I think if they fail, well, no, they don't work. And if they work, holy shit, imagine the benefit from things like free buses and community-owned grocery centers. I'm not saying they're all going to work out, you know what I mean? But even Donald Trump himself said that we need to, that he would be fine with living under Mamdani. And am I America first? I think we can be pro-America and pro the global order at the same time, pro helping out places. Like one of the things I was most proud of as an American was USAID. I know a lot of MAGA and chat will laugh at that, but I like the idea of us helping out other nations and building that goodwill.
Speak with you. Thank you so much for your time and insights.
Thank you.
Support the rich, not poor Americans. Well, that's MAGA's mindset. Dude, that's so weird. Lulu Wolf? Dude, are you okay? What type of weird sexual fantasies are you having about your father Trump? What's going on there? Are you okay, man? Pulling out of the UN was the smartest decision. No, it wasn't. It's such a bad idea.
Today, just hours after the U.S. military boarded another Venezuelan oil tanker in the Caribbean Sea, President Trump hosted a group of top oil executives at the White House and outlined his
If the
plan.
USA paid more taxes, you could all have free health care. Taxes aren't all bad. They pay for insurance and help keep things running. Yeah, dude, I am totally okay with paying more in my taxes if it means my fellow American has goes to bed with food in their stomach and a house over their head.
Plan for American companies to exploit Venezuela.
Typical leftists bringing perverse rhetoric? What are you talking about? I'm not the one who said bend over and make it wink for Papa Trump. That was you guys. You guys said that. That was LuluWolf-M9G.
Venezuelan resources.
The plan is for them to spend at least 100.
Well, if we didn't spend more than the rest of the world combined on military spending, we'd have free healthcare. Very true. But, you know, I think I do appreciate our military. You know, we're the most badass in the world. But there comes a certain point, like where is the fraud investigations for things like the Pentagon? Where's that? You brought it up. Well, you're the one, your guys are the ones that said that, right? What the fuck, bro? Like, what is this?
$100 billion to rebuild the capacity and the infrastructure.
Yeah, how about sending money for countries for gay stuff? Gay stuff is so funny.
Necessary.
Where you could be, when you could be killed for it. Well, it sounds like they're spending good money to promote homosexuality, and not promote homosexuality, but to paint people of a homosexual variety in a better way. That's probably good. You just literally said it. Why would we be spending money to prevent people from killing gay people? To prevent people from killing gay people.
Venezuela has also agreed
LOL, gay stuff, right?
The United States will immediately begin refining and selling up to
So
50
true about the
million
Pentagon, right? I think it's just insane. Like, why are we getting so upset about a $9 billion fraud scandal when I'm sure there's hundreds of billions of dollars being misused at the Pentagon? And hey, I appreciate our military, you know? I'm not trying to sit here and say our military is bad by any means, but we need to really make sure every cent is being accounted for. And I agree with the Republicans on that. So why the hell are we not investigating one of the areas that gets the most money?
barrels of Venezuelan crude oil, which will continue indefinitely.
The president said the U.S. government would provide total safety and security.
Oh yeah,
and that he
how much
expected
we're
the
spending on ICE is absolutely insane. Why don't we why don't we take that money from funding a paramilitary unit and actually put it towards something the American people are going to benefit from? By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel, gets me boosted out there in the algorithm. I do a show every day from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. where I talk about the news and politics. You guys have been absolutely killing it today, by the way. Up to 21 likes. That's super impressive.
The companies would.
USA was funding veteran support groups in Kyiv's veteran hub. I think it has no funding now because people like you think it's going to gay stuff. Amen, dude. Like, USAID was really beneficial.
In return, move quickly to revitalize Venezuela's oil
We will
infrastructure.
benefit for real? Yeah. Thank you, President Trump.
Currently, Venezuela sits on more oil than any nation on the planet, but produces just 1% of global supply.
Like,
To help
you
us-
guys, you remember when you guys used to call us sheep? Look how much drone footage we've got going on right now. I mean, you guys are all saying the exact same thing. It's kind of embarrassing. You're not divulging on how he's good for America because you know he's failing to provide what he promised to the American people, and you guys know it.
Understand what comes next. We're joined now by Bob McNally.
Why do you think the UN countries is good, not to Homeland Security? Well, I think we've already got a very efficient Homeland Security force. And our ICE agency was already very well funded, so I don't think we need to pour money into those areas. Why don't we pour money into things like the IRS? Because like you guys are saying, you know, you're upset about fraud. Why don't we fund the IRS, the division specifically designed to hunt out fraud?
Founder and president of Rapidan Energy Group and a former energy advisor to President George W. Bush. Welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Well, I hope I can kind of change your mind on that, you know? Shut the fuck up. Dude, see, look at this. I would never tell. Have you guys ever heard me say shut the fuck up to one of my MAGA in chat? Like, no, of course not. I appreciate your guys' views, and I appreciate your guys' opinions. But you guys seem to think we are the most evil scum of the planet, and that's just not true. I just want a functioning Republican Party, dude.
Thank you, Amna. Great to be here.
So you saw a table there filled with oil executives surrounding the president who seemed to be cautiously
Dude, Biden wasn't terrible. Biden was a fucking Chad.
Optimistic about their future investments in Venezuela.
I leer so
From
much
what
on
you're
this
hearing,
channel. Well, that's good.
how keen are big oil companies?
Hey, I actually learned about that. Apparently they had been shut down way beforehand because of stuff like that. So, yeah, such the fuck up is such a Christian thing to say, right?
The flag in Venezuela, as the president wants to see happen.
Like the chat for that reason. I'm trying to see
Well, you
everybody's
used the
side.
word cautious, and I think that's
Amen.
what oil company executives have been trying to get across to the administration.
How was Biden good? Well, he introduced things like the infrastructure bill that massively improved our roadways and stuff like that. He brought half of the American children in poverty out of poverty for an entire year. He brought down inflation from 9% to 3%. Everybody saw high inflation around the world, but America recovered extremely quickly while everybody else slugged on. I think that's something to be said.
In private conversations, and then today, even on camera, particularly Darren Woods from Exxon did a really good job of that. But I think there's been progress.
Oh, hey, Timmy. Good to see you. I drew your character in last night's VOD, by the way. I made a tooth fighting a piece of candy. I thought that would be fun.
Expectations gap.
I was right-wing growing up, but I've seen more left as I grew older. I seem to care about others' plight more. You know, I think a person's political journey is always very vast and diverse, you know. I'll have to see it. It's in the Discord. I don't know if you have the Discord or not, but here, I can bring it up real quick because I appreciate you.
Between the White House, the president who wants capital to flow and oil production to grow fast now, and oil executives who say it's going to be a long and winding road. So I think, though, they're hearing each other. They're taking on board what each other is saying, and I think the expectations gap is closing steadily.
That security guarantee that the president seemed to promise there for oil executives, is that something you think they need to be able to make investments and go into work in Venezuela? And is
sources
that
right
that
now.
the US
I apologize.
Can make
I went a little silent.
They absolutely need security. I've never seen companies more obsessed with security than oil companies, really.
Oh, yeah.
And they will not even send technical teams to look around unless they know they can keep their people safe. I don't think the federal government can provide that.
There it
the
is.
president, I think I heard him say
huge.
there might be contractors.
Oh,
the
geez,
oil
it's too
companies
big.
themselves are used to taking care of their own security. They operate in very difficult
there it
places,
is, Timmy.
more difficult places than Venezuela.
I thought I did
So
a
don't
pretty
think they're
good
gonna
job. I think
expect or
that's
rely on the
beautiful.
US government to
I
provide
hope it
security.
doesn't look
They'll
too
do it
much like a
themselves with
penis,
their
the tongue, but
contractors,
I
local
think it
partners, and
looked
their own
really
security
pretty.
staff.
So
Just to pull back
That
a
was
bit
for
from
you,
the
man.
details of the logistics here and plans ahead for context.
Oh, wow. Hold on. We've got some crazy things going on. I think I've seen the most virgin post I've ever seen in my life. I'm proud to be American. I'm proud to be white. I'm proud of ICE. Law-abiding citizen is who I want to live next to. If you didn't vote for Trump, you ain't white. Well, have I got some bad news? Is that a cloud carrying? It's a tooth carrying a dagger and a sword and a shield.
We now have
Funny enough, I once identified as conservative. I listened to a guy that sounded a lot like your voice. Differently angle changed my mind. Yeah, I think it's just important to see all sides, and I personally look at all sides, and I find that I very much align with the Democratic Party ideals.
the president saying he expects U.S. involvement.
That doesn't mean I think every Republican is a horrible racist. You know what I mean? Like, I think racism is just so sad. Like, it's like you reread the post. Oh, of Burning 47. I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be white. I'm proud of ICE. Law-abiding citizens is who I want to live next to. If you didn't vote for Trump, you ain't white. The same side get on Biden for the whole year. You vote for Trump, you're not black.
Venezuela to
It's
accept.
very strange. Like, I don't care about like something. I don't really care about my whiteness or whatever, but it's very interesting to see how they're doing the exact same thing now.
And for many years, you saw the Energy Secretary, Chris Wright, saying the U.S. will control Venezuelan oil sales indefinitely.
My life was terrible under Biden, and now it's not much better. Well, I'll say this, that the affordability issue is a real issue right now. A lot of Americans are hurting. And when Trump just puts up trade walls, does all these things to decrease relations with other countries, it leads to higher prices because countries are going to charge more because they don't have that goodwill with America anymore. There's obviously a lot more complexity to that, but it's it's pretty simple. That's a simpler way to put it, in my opinion. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. You guys are absolutely killing it today, so good job on you for that.
Is all of this legal? Is there any precedent for what we're seeing here?
I'm not aware of a precedent for what we're seeing here. Legal, the president asserting that it is. If Venezuela, if the government, the post-Maduro but still Chavismo government is open.
Do you think Trump is doing these to distract from the Epstein files? Yes, I do.
Okay with working.
I don't care about whiteness. I think you're projecting an image of like some woke triggered leftist, and that's just not me, man.
With the president, I suppose it's legal over there. They can pretty much.
Oh, I'm a woke sissy cuck, weak loser liberal. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
But I think
we appreciate all our sissy cucks out there, ladies and gentlemen. We do.
Thinking about 3 buckets of oil here. There's what to do with the 30 million barrels or so that's been produced and is stored. And it seems.
Who gets the $25 million reward that Biden put on Maduro's capture? Well, I imagine Trump's just going to reward that to himself. Just a little bit of, you know, payment for the job, as they say. Nice little change here, nice little dollar there.
Seems the Venezuelan government in the United States legally.
Have you seen the MAGAs crossing across our border into Mexico for cheap dental care because it costs so much under Trump? I have heard about that, actually.
As far as they both are concerned, are going to sell that.
To MAGA, you cannot tax other countries. Mexico didn't pay for the wall. China won't pay for the tariffs. It's not how tariffs work. Yeah, it's us. We pay for the tariff.
So that's already been produced. But then there's the.
Okay, I just wonder, if you think we're woke sissies, how can you also think we're domestic terrorists? How do those fucking fit in your mind together?
The next couple of years during the Trump administration, can they get production back up? If the Venezuelan government is on board with changing its laws and regulations and the
I'm sure, Jim Peacock. I'm very sure that story is
commercial
real.
terms, you will see more investment go in there. It'll be legal, and you'll see production go up by a little bit.
Can I react to this? Let's find out. One moment, the screen's gonna go dark. Oh, is this my planet? Is this my fellow planet, Lonerbox? If you guys don't know, I am part of Lonerbox's orbiters. At least I like to think I am. Unfortunately, Spider decided to not put me up on the orbiter tier, but I like to think that that's just because he wanted me to truly shine. But let's watch this together. Maybe? Oh, this is just a screenshot. This is just a screenshot. Is it the HTML here? Image link? I don't quite know what I'm supposed to react to here. It would react the ultimate react hole. I do want to react to it. I just don't know where I'm supposed to go. Context to the screenshot would help. Yeah, I'm trying to find the video. So, Bill, if you want to send the video real quick, I can bring it up. Oh, geez, we still have a lot to get to.
But then, finally, there's the big oil, and that's...
But essentially, it's an image. It's a 3-hour 38 into the last stream. Loner's last stream. All right, bet I can bring up Loner's stream real quick. That's not too hard. We'll abandon Nick for today. Nick's kind of boring anyways. He's the only reason I really added him was because he's my dude in the bottom right. So anyways. Oh, can't link it without closing stream. I get that. All right. Lonerbox. So you said 3 hour and 38 minutes into his most recent stream. Oh, does he unlist his streams? I'll have to go to Loner's box real quick. And scroll all the way up to Loner Live. I'm sure I'm hemorrhaging viewers right now. I'm sure of it. That's okay. All right. Go here. Open this up. We got the link. And you said it's 3 hours and 38 minutes in, correct? All right. Pause that. Return back over here. God, I'm such a killer. Oh, hold on. What are we doing? Hey, thank you guys so much for the heart reacts. That means the world to me. Oh, I got it up. So 3 hours, 38 minutes. One moment. It's all got to load. All right. Right about here. Hold on. Is this it? I remember this.
I just don't think you should be like going out of your core and fucking soying out and recording them and like obviously I don't
think this is what we were looking for. Anyways, we gotta continue with this. Trump is the best president
well after
ever.
the Trump administration,
This person thinks Trump is better than George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Frederick D. Roosevelt, and fucking all of them combined. America will never be a manufacturing power. It's not 1930. Yeah, I think that's something important to bring up.
After tens of billions of dollars have been spent, the Trump administration has very little control.
No, why would I need your
for that.
Your address.
What about the potential impact here? If production is able to be ramped up, we know the president has repeatedly talked about
Must be the one before.
wanting to get
Well, I can bring it up tomorrow.
bring oil prices down to $50 a barrel. They're
Trump
already
has
at
ruined your country. I mean, I don't think it's it's necessarily ruined, but he's definitely destroying our image.
I think at $59 a barrel, a 4-year low. Would ramping up production in Venezuela eventually bring down the cost? Could it mean lower prices for American and global consumers?
You know, the Venezuelan oil will only really come on in large size and have a big price impact after 2030. But barring a problem with Iran, as your recent segment discussed, barring a geopolitical risk, the president's lucky. Oil prices have been trending down. And it's possible that you'll have, at the same time later this year, lower oil prices still.
But the issue is, it's going to be, you know, oil's already at such a low amount that you can't make money off
Lower
of it.
gasoline prices, and Venezuela increasing its production a little bit, sending more oil to the United States.
Oh, no, you're good. Don't worry about it. I know what you meant, John. I hope I didn't seem rude or anything, or come across that way. Trump would be a Democrat in the Civil
Venezuelan
War.
oil won't cause the oil
Dude, Trump wouldn't even have been on the front lines of the Civil War.
price to go down.
He'd
But
be
the
on he'd be down in Virginia. Or no, he'd be down in Kentucky.
Coincidence of it will give the president some bragging rights, and I'm sure he'll take advantage of it.
Bob
I don't
McNally.
hate America. That's what's funny, Edible Cactus. I would never want one of my fellow Americans to leave the country because I think they add so much value by being here. Every thread of this amazing nation is woven into a great fabric. So I would never want anyone to leave. It's interesting that you want one of your fellow Americans to leave, though. I think that's interesting. And you should think about that.
The Rapidan Energy Group. joining
South
us
Carolina
tonight.
delegate
Bob, thank
Trump.
you so much for your time. Good to speak with you.
Thank you.
It's clear you love your country, man. Well, I hope it's clear. You know, I think it's so frustrating because MAGA claims to be America first. And so being against MAGA is to them being against America. But that's not it at all, dude. Doing this for America? Well, I don't want to say I try to be humble and stuff like that. So I don't want to say, but I try to contribute my voice, you know, and I hope I join a choir of other liberal voices.
This week saw a fatal shooting of a U.S. citizen by an ICE agent and fresh signals of the Trump administration's emerging vision of U.S. leadership. Time now for the analysis of Brooks and Capehart.
Well,
That's
it's
New
the
York Times
moment we were
columnist
all waiting
David
for.
Brooks and Jonathan Capehart of MS Now. It has been a week, gentlemen. It's good to see you both. So, Jonathan, this week marked a grim turning point as a ICE agent, as you both well know, shot and killed a U.S. citizen during an enforcement operation as part of President Trump's expanded immigration raids. Your reaction to all that's unfolded?
It's a tragedy.
Yeah, I've always said that Trump is like the perfect image of an American fascist, you know? He really is. He builds that. He fits the bill, you know? In almost every way. Some rich, wealthy businessman who comes into politics and just uses his money to get through the guardrails. ICE is not SS? Not yet, but they're gearing up to be.
And excuse me, it's a tragedy that's been unfolding.
Seems like your
in other
political
communities.
system just wants to fight each other, point out each other's wrongs, and don't even agree on anything, even if it's good for the country. That's something I do want to, like, try and, I agree, like, we should focus way more on finding bipartisan solutions instead of just depending on House majorities and stuff.
Communities around the country. I think Governor Walz, Minnesota
Hello,
Governor
great
Walz
Somalia daycare. I have very much high hopes that you are going to be a good faith actor, right? just gonna let the courts decide on this one because I don't know where to stand on the shooting. Because parts of me say there were seconds and a decision was made. Well, that's what I'm I just am advocating for an investigation. You know, I think there deserves to be an investigation when, an American citizen is shot, regardless of the prestige or history of the officer. How do I define fascism? Well, it's kind of an interesting thing, right? There are different variants of fascism, but I'd say a defining feature of fascism is continued giving of power to an executive branch, so that the one leader has almost all the power while the population does not.
Correct when he said to the president,
Name a single country that has survived with open borders, a declining birth rate, a lack of protecting their interests. That's Donald Trump, dude. That's not the Democrats. We don't advocate for open borders. We advocate for legal immigration. And that addresses your declining birth rate issue, because we do need more people to come into this country and have children, because our population ain't doing it, dog. Anyways,
you know, these federal agents, these ICE agents, they're not making us safer. You are making the community, our citizens, more afraid. And why shouldn't they be afraid? Not just
I agree. Why shoot the tire? Why not shoot at the tires? Why not try to jump out of the way? You know, Epstein files still unreleased. Oh yeah, dude, it's crazy. All right, found the React tool. Bet. Well, we'll jump into this React tool real quick, because we gotta see our fellow. We gotta see our planet on occasion. I'm assuming this is Hassan versus.
I would have driven away.
I'm not talking as the
as
opposite.
Well. Just as
how many reacts do we have here?
Trying to do.
Wait, who's watching this? XQC. So I think XQC is watching Destiny, right? But where's XQC's chat? Oh, Destiny's behind. So okay.
Yo, there is no way he's
Holy
right
shit.
And he would be a Chad and he would.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reactions going on right now, ladies and gentlemen.
I would have driven away.
I'm not talking as the
as
opposite.
Well, just as she was trying to do.
Yo, there is no way he's
what
right
is
and he would be a
this?
Chad and he would drive away, buddy. No, yo, if he was at a protest and cops said, "Yo, stop right there," he would suck at 1G. I don't care about the terminology. If he was at a protest and cops said, "Yo, stop right there," he'd suck at 1G.
Oh jeez, oh jeez. I knew Great Somali Daycare would be such a strong and ardent defender of information and a guard against misinformation. Listen to this. What are you gonna do with a 4,000-pound vehicle, you fucking retarded fascist bitch? Hey, what's up, Soros Taylor? Good to see you.
Bro, he's on his knees already. What about it?
Many people would have done the same. She was.
Wait, he's typing in his chat?
Business. I was not business. If they did that, I would drive away. Now link the fucking China clip. Bro gave him his phone. Like, that's suck at 1G. That's fucking.
Vermin Supreme is live now, but he's funny for about 20 seconds.
Bootlicker shit.
I hate liberals passionately. Well, it's good to know that you hate your fellow Americans. That's very embarrassing to say. You claim to be for America, and yet you hate a vast majority of Americans. Pathetic, dude. You're a pathetic loser that is unable to engage in proper debate, and I think that's sad. I really do.
Fucking kidding me? Are you fucking
Yeah, but this isn't the Chinese police. Yeah, if it was the Chinese police, he would do everything they say, and then he would justify the police's
on
actions.
Paper? What am I doing on paper, by the way?
Chat after. It's like, no, you guys don't understand. No, there's a good reason. Listen, like it's understandable, okay? Look, they've got security issues. They want to make sure that I'm not making fun of Chairman Mao. disrespecting the memory of the chairman. But that's not, if it's the United States, it's different, okay? If it's the United States, we're going to wear our fucking press vests and talk about how they might shoot us in the face. Fuck the police.
Fuck no! Jesus! He gave his phone! Suck it, 1G!
Away.
All right. Well, that was React tolling. And it seems like QCSL6 is React tolling right now. What we're going to do to you, my friend in Christ. There we go. Bill Clockwell, beat him to us. We used to appreciate the spammers, but when I have an actual active chat, we're not too happy about it. But, you know, you can come back here in a moment.
Man, this is the fucking discourse. Like, this is the Reddit.
Hold on. I'm not watching the right thing. Oopsie.
What happened to Renee Good, but the way they've been operating, not just in Minneapolis, but in other
Charlie
cities across
Sir
the country.
Kirk was a
Unmarked
saint.
cars.
See, listen to how you're talking to your fellow about your fellow Americans. Like, how can you say that? Charlie Kirk was a saint and Renee was a demon. She was just some protester, dude. The majority of the country supports Trump. That's cope and just not true.
Unidentifiable.
But listen to what you're saying about your fellow Americans, dude. I think what happened to Charlie Kirk was a fucking tragedy, and I would have never wanted that to happen in my most sick and twisted dreams. I would never in a million years want to hurt a fellow content creator, somebody who is using their voice, even if I disagree with it. But yet you are celebrating the death of somebody we don't even know the case of. Answer me this. Does running away from the police mean you get shot? Is that what it means? Is that the punishment for disobeying an arrest? I don't know.
People don't know who these people are who are lunging
Yeah, the same
at
thing
them.
they called out against. They're doing the same thing, dude. It's like, I have no issue with my Republican counterparts. I want a functioning Republican Party. I do.
On streets, lunging at them in their cars. And so I think that
By the way, guys,
indignation,
thank you
or
so
as I'd
much for
say,
the likes and
righteous
subscribes. You
indignation,
guys are absolutely killing it today. We're up to 26 likes, and I can't thank you guys enough. I really can't. Those are terrorists, not freedom fighters. Listen to what you're saying. You think your fellow American is committing domestic terrorism.
that we have heard from state and local officials, from the governor, most definitely from the mayor, I think is warranted. And anyone giving Mayor Fry,
Yeah, public
Minneapolis Mayor
protesting
Fry,
is
the
part of
blues,
democratic values. I mean, it's within the... It's beautiful to see people protesting and to see people truly believe and standing up for what they believe in. I think that's beautiful.
for being very explicit in what he wants ICE officers to do, how he feels.
Hey, the
about
blue
this.
wave is coming, Ralph. The blue wave is coming. I'm telling you. Gained 15 subscribers today. Great stream. Started with a bang. Hey, thank you guys so much. You guys are you're killing it today. Thank you guys. That means the world to me. I really, that means so much. Thank you. I don't know what else to say.
Which is more unconscionable, him dropping the F-bomb or having a person who lives in his
Okay,
city?
so this guy, G. Len Paul, sounds very Russian asset-y. He says, take away the right to protest from the First Amendment. Why would you want to do that? What hurts the protests is the people on the side who end up looting. Well, I don't think we're seeing that right now. We're not seeing that right now. It's been much more centralized. There's not as much looting and rioting right now. But I hear your concern, and I do not advocate to riot. You know, in my past years, I was a little more radical, and I thought public property can be private property can be destroyed, man. But now I put myself in the position of a business owner, and that would just break my heart. So I don't support that at all.
Killed by a...
How can I be a Nazi, communist, fascist? That's like 3 things, man. You got to make up your mind. I'm one or the other. You know?
By federal agents.
I only
no
call
one
you
asked
guys
for. The mayor
fascist.
didn't
That's
ask for
it.
them,
I
the
don't think
governor
you're
didn't
communist. I don't think you're not. I think you're fascist.
Ask for them.
And David, video of the shooting spread almost instantly, and just as
So what do I
quickly,
think about the
White
people
House-
that attacked the Capitol on January 6th? I think they were trying to overthrow democracy, you know? I think they were, and I think our brave Capitol officers did their best to defend against the wave of just un-American hate.
House and DHS moved to label it an act of domestic terrorism, that the ICE agent they
Yeah,
said
people's power can
was-
only be
was
exercised
acting in
through unarmed
self-defense.
protests
What does
right
this
now.
whole thing reveal about how narratives are being set before investigations are even complete?
Yeah, let me talk first about the public
Yeah,
debate.
communist and fascist don't quite work together, brother. You kind of got to be one or the
And
other.
then about the event, which Jonathan was talking about. In 1951, there was a brutal football game between Princeton and Dartmouth. And after the game, researchers sent the Princeton kids and the Dartmouth kids the exact same film video of the game. And the Princeton kids said, look, this film proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Dartmouth kids did twice as many penalties. And the Dartmouth kids said, this film proves that without a shadow of a doubt that the Princeton kids did all the penalties.
Yeah, we
So
have
they
to
were looking
vote.
at the
Trump
same
cannot be the only voice in the country, not this one. Amen.
video. And it's a very famous social science.
Yeah, unfortunately, the president pardoned 1,000 plus people that beat the hell out of people on out of our riot police, on
experiment.
or out of
And
our
I watched it
Capitol
play out in
Police
real
on
time
January
this week.
6th.
Because every single Trump person on my feed.
I'm a proud Republican. I've never believed in a protest. Okay, then you don't believe in America. You don't believe in American ideals. I'm sorry to say. You need to go back and study the book, my friend. I'm not saying you're a bad person for that, but in America, we value protest. We value the people getting their opinions out. So honestly, you don't really sound like an American, because no Republican I know would say that protest is childish, but okay, very interesting.
My social media feeds were saying this proves he shot her with just cause. And every single anti-Trump person on my feed said it was murder. I did not see one exception. And so I think what this tells us is the norm, which is essential to democracy, of putting the
And
truth
hey guy,
above
you're that guy. We have an evil twin in chat that needs to acknowledge it immediately. Oh, we do? We have an evil twin in chat right now? A guy named, yep, we do. I forgot. A guy named DJ is my evil twin. He's been pretty active in the chat, so I appreciate that, man.
your party and your team. That norm is eviscerated.
Oh yeah, one
at
party
least on social
system
media.
means tyranny
Hopefully
for
not in
sure. And I think like I value both sides of the coin. That's why I advocate so much against Trump, because Trump is making the Republican Party not function.
Life. As to the events of what actually happened, I'm not going to render a judgment on what happened because we're going to have an investigation.
Okay, this is what I'm saying, and I'm glad I see a more Republican side taking the stance on this, because I think an investigation is super important, you know?
I will leave it to them, and I hope Minnesota has a full information to do the investigation. But what Jonathan said is absolutely correct, that the atmosphere that ICE has created is incendiary, that people who have power and have guns.
I'm more American than any of you. Yeah, that's good. That's some BS, brother.
Are supposed to exercise restraint.
Semper Fi.
And they are doing the opposite. And the crust of civilization is thin. And once people with guns and with power begun acting like
our country's people protested and put the president in jail for 27 years and fined $11 billion. Well, I am proud of your country. Are you from Brazil potentially? I could be wrong about that, but congratulations, dude. That's a strong win for democracy and America.
thugs, well, then things are going to spiral, and that's what we've seen.
Jonathan, to David's point.
My old party is destroying America because of white liberal women are nuts. That's it. That's what's destroying America, apparently, folks. It's not the crushing health insurance cost. It's not the rising cost of affordability. It's not the divisiveness that our leader stokes every day. No, it's white women.
About the public debate,
Right.
it does feel like we live in this moment where this idea of seeing is believing has been replaced by what you believe now determines what you see.
I mean, sure, but
Yeah, the problem is no investigation is happening under Trump.
I mean, maybe I come
That's
at
what I
this from the
think is
vantage
important to point out. You know, we're not crime scene investigators, so we have no idea what we're looking at. To me, personally, it looks like cold-blooded murder. But, again, I'm not a crime scene investigator. I'm not somebody who does these investigations for a living. I think we should trust our FBI to do it, but the issue is the FBI and DOJ are not doing it.
point of being an African American man.
Yep, it's white liberal. You're right, Eddie Money. It's white liberal women. That's it.
Who, you know, for decades, you know, people talked about racial profiling by police officers.
Yep, you got it, Eddie Money. It's all just white liberal women. See, God, it must be so simple to just point at one thing and say, that's the issue. But we have a wide variety of issues in America that need fixing. And just pointing to one bad thing and just pointing to one thing, not even a bad thing, just pointing to one thing and saying that's the entire reason we have these problems isn't conductive to the actual conversation that's being had.
And there was no video to prove it. And so we were deemed reactionary. We were deemed taking things too seriously.
Eddie is starting war. Basically, the EU is turning on the U.S. Russia even condemned the attack on Venezuela. I know
Being
it's
hyperbolic.
It's not great when our adversaries are condemning stuff. Though I will say, you know, Russia will probably do that. We could literally save 1,000 orphans, and Russia would be like, "But you forgot the one on the, you know." There's evidence that there were more orphans, so we condemn this action.
Until the person videoed Rodney King getting beaten up in Los Angeles. And even with that, you know, people came at it.
Thank you. You know, simping for females won't get you a lady, man. I didn't realize I was simping for females. I had no idea you were even a female. I thought you were just a male with long hair, but...
with their various perspectives. 5 years ago in Minneapolis, we saw Derek Chauvin with his knee on the neck of George Floyd for 9.5 minutes. Imagine.
Yes, that's totally what I said. I'm siding, ladies and gentlemen, I'm siding with Russia. You got me. I don't rail against the Russian government and how dictatorial they are. I don't do that at all. No, you got me.
Imagine if the young woman who recorded that with her phone, if that video had not been there, what the narrative would have been. The narrative that they tried to spin.
Russia is, dude, I'm telling you, Len Paul, you are the most obvious Russian asset I've ever seen in my life, man. You are like, you literally went, Russia's our adversary? Since when? And you've been doing nothing but bot comments, which I'm cool with. I like hearing what our Russian brethren are thinking all about all the way over there, but it's very funny. I can't lie.
Even in the face of that video, we now have a new video out of Minneapolis, out of Minnesota, where, I mean, I take your point, David, depending on your political perspective, you see what you want to see, but you're seeing. And I think that
Len Paul, you are very much
Secretary of Homeland Security, the
Russian asset, brother, and that's okay. I'm wondering, is Vladimir on shift today? Is it Vladimir, or is it Nikolai? Is it Vladimir or Nikolai on shift today, buddy? Who's watching over you? Who's making sure you're sending these messages? Vladimir or Nikolai? Yeah, I know. America and Russia allies against who? Like maybe in the fucking 1940s.
Vice President of the United States and the President of the United States are out there saying things that whether you've got eyes, you just match the video up against what they're saying.
It's Ivan. Okay. Oh, it's Vasily. It's either Ivan or Vasily today.
put aside your politics.
Got some new faces at the Russian compound. Get excited for that. Yeah, I think I think there's strong evidence that Trump is shifting this world order to align with Russia's. He makes no points, just mockery. He is a retard. All right, so now we know Ivan's account is T_Brown. So Ivan, please don't be too mean to Glenn Paul there. I think he's doing good work. He's not gonna. We're just strong liberal-minded Chads out here in Stacy's, but don't be too hard on him.
They are not trying to push that car out of the snow. It's a lie. And so I say all of that to say, I applaud people who are going out into their communities, seeing what's happening, and pulling out their phones and recording it. As we've seen, multiple people
Trump is
were
the
recording
Supreme
what
Lord.
happened to Renee
That's
Good.
interesting.
And
oh, I got him. Dude, they're tagging up. They're doing it together. This is a operation for them right now. They're doing it together. Do you think they're holding hands as they type into the 1990s modem screen?
And good for them, good for Minneapolis, good for Minnesota, but also good for America, because as long as people are
Trump's
bearing
mental
witness
state
to
is
this,
in deterioration. Well, he's not
with
doing
their
great.
phones
I'll
and
give him that.
putting out a record, then the administration from the president on down
Trump and Senate working overtime to make Russia an ally. Amen. I think it's disgusting how we're appeasing
cannot
Russia right
lie, baldly lie to the American people without there being video evidence that they are lying.
Let's shift our focus to foreign policy because President.
All right, I think I'm gonna end it there so we can storm. Actually, no, we got a little
Trump
bit
is making
more, so
clear
we'll
that
just
he won't be
finish it out.
constrained by the law as he teases a takeover or a.
I haven't seen a video of him being hit by a car. I saw a video where he very sneakily hides the camera, but I didn't see a video of where he got hit by a car. That's news to me. I didn't realize you were a FBI agent. That must be a good salary for you, man.
Reimagining of the Western Hemisphere. Here's what he told your paper, the New York Times, when asked if there were any limits on his global powers. Mr. Trump said, yeah, there is one thing, my own morality, my own mind. It's the only thing that can stop me. I don't need international law. I'm not looking to hurt people.
Okay, this is just straight up.
David.
We're doomed. Relying on Donald Trump's morality, we're doomed. You know, sometimes I think he's just trying to keep the reality show going, and every week has to show some sign of force. But I tried to put my mind in, like, what if I want to make the best case for this Venezuela operation? Obviously,
it's all over the news. Yeah,
Maduro
I
was
watched
one
it.
of the worst people
It's not a video of
in the
anything. If you can draw a conclusion from that video, you must have eyes. You know, you must have foresight.
Best case,
'cause
I think,
wasn't able to
is that
draw
Trump
a
happens to be in
conclusion.
an office when a lot of really terrible regimes are crumbling, and he is a
Not seen the video. I've seen the video. I don't think it's conclusive at all. He doesn't get hit.
destructive force.
What are you talking
And he is
about?
having some effect on causing terrible regimes to crumble, and that's true in Iran. That story is amazing. What we're seeing in Iran. It's true with Hamas. It's true with Hezbollah. It's true in Venezuela, Cuba. There are a lot of terrible regimes that are in a very weak position. And if he can push them off the edge, maybe that'll be good for the world. The problem with this approach is what Stephen Miller now famously said to
Yeah, the shooter wasn't even close to being hit. You guys know that video from Austin Powers? Here, I'll show you. I'll show you. Austin Powers run over. There we go. Yeah, this is what was happening. Okay?
Hang on, I'm gonna floor it! Watch out! Move!
This is your brave ICE agent. Look at him. This is what would have happened if he hadn't blown that woman's brains out. This is what would have happened, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, God.
Watch out!
I know, guys. It's hard. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch our dear ICE agents, but this is just a recreation of what was happening. And that's what would have happened if he didn't kill that woman. So, I guess you're right.
Jake Tapper on Monday, which is we don't believe in international law. We believe in power. We believe in force. Strong wins, might makes right, deal with it. The problem with that, it's like the ICE thing, frankly. When there's restraint, when there's rules, when there's order, it does cause people to be less violent.
It is wild how stupid some people are. Thank you so much.
Between
I appreciate
1990
that,
and
man.
2014, in the world,
Yep, it's
there
by
were less
choice.
than
How did you know?
An average of 15,000
I take my stupid pills every day, and
war deaths
they keep
per
me
year.
going.
15,000. Since 2014, there have been over 100,000 war deaths per year around the world. That is what you get.
But this is why I advocate for an investigation, so it's not as opaque. But the administration seems to not be interested in an
When
investigation.
you erode the post-war international order,
Someone wake up Trump, time to check in with his boss? You mean
you
Putin?
allow savagery to reign. And what he's doing with the Stephen Miller...
Yeah, if ICE wasn't there, this wouldn't have even happened. Like, there is something to be said for how ICE is just going
makes
into
right.
these communities,
what
you
you
know?
How do you see it, Jonathan? If the administration is reviving this 19th century great...
That's not body cam footage, my friend. That was just some dude. That was an ICE agent not performing, in my opinion, his duty, and instead recording a video instead of handling the
power
situation.
view of
That
the
was not
world
body cam footage.
And abandoning the post-World War II order the U.S. helped build. What's the result?
Chaos? I mean, I look at what he did in Venezuela and ask, to what end? If it's regime change, is it really
Yeah, America has lost
regime
half
change
of
if
its
all
allies,
you-
sadly.
If the only thing you've done is
And we're threatening our current ones, like Colombia. What do we get from that? Why do we get from threatening Greenland?
And so when you think about it that way,
By the way, thank you guys so much for the love and support. You guys are up to 28 likes today, and that means the world to me. You guys are absolutely killing it today. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
now wonder, okay, how much will the American people be asked to do in Venezuela to hold that country together so that President Trump can go and get the oil?
How should the American people judge whether this approach is making the country...
Yeah, the American people will never see that body cam footage, dude. I'm sure it's fucking horrible.
Safer,
to be quite
or simply
honest.
more feared?
The videos that we've seen themselves are just disgusting.
well, more feared.
And to be honest, just to bring some levity to the situation, the T-Rex is real, by the way. That T-Rex is real, and so is the shark. I thought that was
is making the
AI.
country more feared. If there's somehow their logic.
Why would you expect a shark and a fucking
Again, I'm trying to be fair
T-Rex
to
to
these
just
Christian
appear?
rulers of the world. Their logic is that it doesn't matter what they believe. It doesn't matter what the party in Venezuela believe. As long as we can intimidate them by behaving roughly toward them, then they'll do what we want, which is to let us build up the country and we'll take the oil.
This
The amorality of that.
Lipser is a joke.
My friends
That's
on
a Russian
the
bot.
left, they used to say, you know,
Who says Mincy
see through
Lisper?
what George W. Bush is doing. He's
Oh,
raising
you're
more for
making fun
oil.
of my
Now, you don't have to
lisp
guess.
that I have. Thank you. I
Donald Trump
appreciate
just says
that.
it.
That's very sweet.
And so that's a world of amorality.
David Brooks, Jonathan Capehart, thank you both as always for your insights.
Thanks, Jack.
All right. Anyways, we got to get to Fox News and see what they're saying over on the loser point of view. Excuse me. Do we have any Greg Gutfeld? I really like Greg. He's my favorite. I guess we got Fox News highlights. Yeah, we can watch that. Let's go. It's Fox News time, ladies and gentlemen. Get excited.
Deranged left is proven wrong again.
If oils of barrel drops to $50 a barrel, no one makes any money. We're already at $60 a barrel. You make an amazing point, famous F79. That is very true. And so what is convincing American companies to invest in the infrastructure here? Why was he standing in front of the damn car? Yeah, because you don't arrest people in front of the car. That's a real question I'm wondering. Yeah, Miss
So
Ingram.
that new video from the agent's body cam puts the shooting, we're going to watch it again, of Renee Good in a new light.
Oh, you guys remember who was in chat asking for the video? We got it right here. Look, it's an ICE agent
change our plates every morning.
holding his fucking camera. Like how unprofessional is that?
Talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former.
This is some foreigner click site? Well, shout out. I didn't know foreign people were plugging my stream. Shout out. I appreciate that.
I said go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead. Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Oh God! Listen to this soy lord. Listen to him. And listen very closely to what he says. Oh, well, they bleeped it out, but you know what he calls that American citizen? A fucking bitch. What the actual hell? I mean, I'm watching from Romania. That's fine. There's no issue with that. I love people. I love anyone from anywhere around the world. I appreciate you stopping by. I think we talked about that earlier, last stream.
We now know that Ms. Good and her partner were so-called ICE trackers. They're people who spend their free time following, monitoring, and impeding ICE.
Yeah, I don't see him getting hit. Watching from India? Well, hey, thank you so much. Shout out to my Indian followers. Yeah, he called her an effing bitch. Like, what is that? Do you want our American officers calling citizens that? I don't think you do.
As they do their lawful work, their jobs. Now, they do this because
yeah, he drops the phone and reaches for the gun.
Shouldn't be subject to federal immigration law, the ICE trackers, that is. And they don't want any jurisdiction of the federal government here in Minneapolis whatsoever. And if this left-wing resistance plays out everywhere, where people just decide we're not going to abide by federal law, what happens next?
Oh gosh, listen to this slippery slope bullshit.
Now, from what we see in the new video tonight, after the officers told this woman to stop, she refused. And
she refused. That means she dies.
Egging her on, she began to spin her wheels. The officer in front of her car reasonably believed
she hit him. Look at that, bro. She didn't hit him. If the car was gonna hit her, if the car was gonna hit him, it would have hit him. You guys know you can't fucking stop a bullet with a car, right?
Again, here's a clue. If you don't want to get injured or, heaven forbid, have a tragic
yeah, they're being fast-tracked during
life,
training. I've heard multiple reports of that.
Requests. But this duo went there with a purpose. They went to.
Bro, this chick looks like our version of Fox News. The resemblance is uncanny. Well, they do have a template, don't they?
And to interfere with their operation, they want to drive ICE out of this city. And the lapdogs of the left, well, they spread hateful narratives.
So wait, you can stop a vehicle with a bullet? I didn't know that, John Public. Enlighten me on how the aerodynamics of that work. I wasn't aware you can stop a car with a bullet.
And then their poodle politician friends, they just rush in to confirm them.
We are all shaken and outraged by another terrible, unnecessary, violent event instigated by the reckless agenda of the Trump
defy federal law. Republicans do that on a daily basis, dude.
When a president endorses,
you will get your civil war. I don't want a civil war. Give me snacks. You're the one who constantly comes in my chat and advocates for a civil war. I don't want a civil war. I love my fellow Americans, and I would never in a million years want to bring harm to them. That sounds like you.
Tearing families apart and attempts to govern.
We got an image here. Oh my God, that's so true. Soros, I found the template we were talking about. Here, one moment. I found the template. You're dead on with that, Bill. Look at this. I'm not gonna shut the fuck up. I'm practicing my fucking American right to speak my mind. But yep, you're totally right. This is the Fox News female host starter pack. Blonde hair, red, white, or blue dress. Exclusively looks only like this and nothing else. I mean, can you... It's kind of hard to deny. It's kind of hard to deny.
Through fear and hate, rather than shared values, you foster an environment.
Hey, we are up to 30 likes, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are absolutely killing it today. I really appreciate all the support.
Lawlessness and recklessness.
What we have here are two Americas. One America believes that we have a legitimate federal.
Oh my God, they're throwing snowballs. Oh my God, hold on. Temp F is hot. I mean, they can be beautiful women.
And thus, our laws should be enforced by the executive branch. That's the DOJ,
ANCA,
FBI, ICE,
here.
etc.
I'll
with
look it
the
up real quick.
president,
That does
obviously, the
sound
chief law
interesting.
enforcement officer.
The idea that Tim Walz and a bunch of radicals in Minneapolis...
Oh, here we go. Constantly stoking the tensions. Oh my God, you're right. Almost exactly the same. That's funny.
are going to go after and make this guy's
You're
life
a man with a lip ring. Is every Democrat a fruitcake? Oh, you checked my shorts out. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that.
miserable because he was doing the job that he was asked to do is preposterous. The unprecedented thing is the idea that a local official can actually prosecute a federal official with absolute immunity. I've never seen anything like that. It would get tossed out by a judge.
The other side, the other America, is leftists like Walz and Fry.
Leftist?
They believe that the U.S. government action, if it takes place, is only legitimate if it advances progressive goals.
No, that's so crazy to be painting people like that.
If a Republican president,
Yeah, Fox
any
News is
Republican
cloning
president really enforces
host out
laws
here.
that the left disagrees with, well, the activists will just threaten to burn it all down.
Yeah, fucking snowballs.
did
Can
after
you
George
believe?
Floyd.
Yeah, the other America. Like, listen to this bullshit, dude. This is such fucking disgusting rhetoric coming from the other side. Do you guys hear me say that about our MAGA? No.
Burned. After George Floyd, all of a sudden there were some charges. So for those who are on the media talking about, don't burn it down, don't set it on fire, let me tell you this, we need justice and we need it now.
Oh, God. That means she's going to burn things down. Listen. Oh, jeez. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Fox News found their clip of the week. That shit's going to be on repeat for 10,000 years.
That burning the city down will get results. So to them,
Soros
the
and
U.S.
this university funded by Soros in the 90s. Shout out. He's funding me.
is either progressive, radically so, or it is illegitimate. For a group that
Seems like
will-
she switched teams, eh? You know, like in CSGO when you can switch sides. Seems like she kind of did that.
though about insurrection, that wasn't the insurrection that obviously was not an insurrection.
Who the fuck
Man,
even
they're
was
sure
that?
sounding
No
like they
idea,
want
just
one
some
now.
rando.
Everything they told you about the Minneapolis car ramming was a lie.
Oh, everything they told you.
They told you
Fox
the
News
agent
is-
was never hit.
Fox News is bringing us the truth.
The ICE agent walked away with a hip injury that he might as well have gotten from closing a refrigerator door with his hips. He was not injured. I've seen worse injuries from doing that.
You
And
have
so
no
give me a
viewers?
break.
What are you talking about? I
No.
got like fucking 20 viewers watching me right now. This is the most I've had in a while. I think you're just upset because you know the lib message is spreading and you're a little afraid of that. But don't be afraid, Give Me Snacks.
He was not ran over.
Join the cause.
He walked out of there with a hop in his step.
And they said this was just a mom stuck in traffic.
It's horrifying to watch.
Y'all
And to think about
rhinos?
this.
Okay, well, I'm not a Republican, so I don't think you're talking to me. Murdered Charlie to pave the way for the invasion that didn't immediately split the party and force America First out fast. Oh, so this guy is just coping with the fact that his party is gone. Always good to see
This
that.
37-year-old woman drops her kid off at school, not involved in protest activity or anything. Seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
They also said she was a legal observer.
she died trying to be a legal assistant to legal observer to look out for the interests of the most vulnerable members of our community.
I support Ice
and she
Trump.
leaves behind a lot of people who
Yeah, he was hit just like Trump had his ear shot off. What's going on with that, by the way? Why is his ear just totally fine now? That's a little weird, isn't it?
who love and admire her.
None of this is true. New video from the ICE agent.
None of this
Brand
is
was
true.
just released, proving he was hit. The woman was there
Jesse
to block
is
the
very in tune with knowing what's true and not
op,
true.
and she wasn't a lawyer. Watch.
Terry #1 on the Epstein list. That's why he doesn't. That's the secret reason he doesn't like Trump release. He doesn't want Trump to release the files.
It's okay, we don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen.
Why are we still watching Fox News? We were just looking at a single thing. We can't have an entire hour of this? Man, come on. What?
You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead. Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Whoa!
Now, we don't know whether this woman intended to hit the agent with the car or was peeling off, but she accelerated right towards him.
Yeah, no one
Legally,
takes
looks
Jesse
justified.
Waters too
But we
seriously.
wish the officer hadn't been in front of the car.
I'm left, but I love watching. Oh, geez, it's one of these people. Listen, dude, your communist ideology got beat all the way back in the 90s, bro. I like the fact that you're like interested in politics, but you got to be pragmatic. You got to be pragmatic.
It appears he fired his weapon as he was getting clipped. The woman, on foot, calling the agent fat, was the driver's lesbian partner. And they didn't just make a wrong turn and get stuck in the snow. They'd been stalking the ICE officers all day.
Stalking
with their
them.
raids.
That's so
Video
funny.
shows the car was blocking
By the way,
traffic
Bill,
for
we're about
4
to be done here,
minutes,
so
refusing to
I'm
leave
sorry
and
if
not
you wanted
complying
to
with
watch
orders.
something else.
And she waited until the agent was in front of the car and the other agent was grabbing onto the door handle before she accelerated. While the partner screams, "Drive, baby, drive."
Oh God,
DHS
no,
sources confirmed
no,
today
she
that Renee
didn't.
Good
Oh
was a
no,
trained member of ICE Watch.
she's a trained member. Does she know how to? Watch out! That's a trained member of ICE Watch there, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out! She's real dangerous. Look at that dangerous woman. Oh, geez. Afterwards, from the phone being dropped and not the shooter being hit. Yeah. Father of two, you quit making assumptions and think alternatives couldn't exist. Well, I appreciate that you typically vote for Democrats, but I think when you constantly criticize our Democratic leaders, like a lot of the left does, it really hurts it really hurts their image. But
It's a coalition of activists whose
you're
mission
right.
it
I
is
shouldn't
to
have
make
assumed
ICE's
that.
job as difficult as possible. Here's a flyer from ICE Watch. that
Crazy
directs
idea. Is there
people
any
to
neighbors that have
block
the ring cam,
kidnappers'
doorbell
cars.
cams, so
And
we can
for
get another
white
angle?
witnesses to
I
put
mean,
their
to be
bodies
honest,
in
I
front
think we can speculate and theorize about what happened all day. I think what's important is just an investigation to be done. You know, and that's not what the right is advocating for. They're advocating for no investigation to be done. So
the person that's being kidnapped. See what's going on here? This is an intelligently designed stagecraft. A fellow ICE
intelligently
watcher called Renee
designed.
an anti-ICE
Listen to
warrior.
what they're saying. They're saying that she basically
Now, every
planned to die
vigilante
that
in
day.
Minneapolis wants to come out and play.
If I continually see you following us, interfering with us, honking your horn, blocking our cars, you have a very
We
high
get
probability
really
of
scared. We get
making a
really stressed.
bad decision and being arrested today.
There's a lot of ice around here. Just so you know, if we could
Oh, genocide for political leverage. Here we go. I was wondering who I'm going to raid into after today. It's going to be Kalinda because you guys seem to need a textbook lesson on IP.
Continue to have you follow us. Okay. Okay. Have fun. Don't make a bad decision today.
What does that mean?
Women think it's a game. They could just lay down wheels in the middle of traffic.
It's just a game.
Tailgate federal agents, box them in, and alert Eagles of impending searches. Our own Matt Finn was doing an ICE ride along in Minneapolis.
Of course he was.
They got chased down. Watch.
Watch.
Okay, so
oh God, they're chasing us down.
Blue Rivian, an electric truck. It's been trailing.
For Israel financially and politically, that is wrong to criticize the Zionist state. I agree, but I think it is kind of like you see some. You are starting to see some anti-Semitism start to rise. I agree. I think the Israel far-right government is bullshit and deserves to be voted out. But a lot of the discourse has become pretty anti-Semitic right now.
Us down for miles. What are you guys going to do? If that individual does anything that would indicate that they're going to impede our federal law enforcement operations, we're going to stop. We're going to give them a warning. And then from there, they will be arrested. That SUV is also trailing you.
See, that's not what happened, though, is it?
Beeping at you right now. That is correct.
These warriors, mostly women, have nothing better to do.
Mostly women.
In the middle of the day,
God, so
on a
disgusting.
weekday, than to drive around and block immigration
Talking about their
cops
fellow
from doing their
Americans
job.
like this.
Jobs they were hired to do because people voted for it. Here's how it works. They look for tinted out windows, out-of-state plates, and then they shoot out coordinates on encrypted apps with hundreds of members so that ICE warriors can hit the streets and swarm agents. One of them told a Minneapolis paper they'd rather spend a night in jail than see a neighbor locked up for months or be deported. Let's be honest. These activists don't even know these illegals.
They
don't
don't
know their
even
names,
know
where they
them.
live. A lot of them have issues.
But they seem to care, so I think
and
that's
are
more
looking
than
for
enough.
attention. They're going after ICE agents in street clothes now. One report says a gaggle of women followed ICE agents who
Oh,
weren't
no.
even in uniform into
Oh my God, a gaggle
restaurant
of
and
women?
hassled them,
That's
screamed at
got to
them
be
so
the most
loudly,
dangerous
the guys had to
situation
leave without
they've been in
breakfast.
a minute.
Patriotic men in uniform are getting run out of diners in America.
I don't know if I'd quite call them patriotic
But
men in
MS-13 can
uniform.
sit down and order huevos rancheros. No bueno. One
No bueno. God, he's such a
woman
racist.
spit a loogie at an agent.
Oh no, they spit at an agent? Holy
Enough's enough.
shit.
Here comes the cuffs.
They're totally okay with that. By the way, look how fucking unorganized this is. Is this how ICE agents are arrested? Look how unorganized this is. What the fuck is wrong? Are you guys okay with this? Aggressive use of force? Look how they're treating an American citizen.
There's a term for this. It's called suicidal activism. Remember suicide by cop? People are so dangerous, they dare officers to shoot them.
You want to shoot me? Shoot me! Go ahead!
This is what's going on now. A lot of these women want to
Look at that headline. Democrats deploy human shields. What the fuck is wrong with these
be
people?
victims. And the Democrat politicians have no problem pushing.
Spitting is assault. Oh my god. You are literally the most fucking soy beta if you think getting hit with a loogie is the worst
these
thing in
women
the
into the front
world.
lines. Human shields for the
I didn't realize how filled to the brim our ranks were with baby betas in ICE, but I think that's a real problem, I guess.
party.
I didn't
machine.
know we had so many baby
Remember
betas
what
in
the
ICE
base said
right
this
now.
Summer? There needs to be blood to grab the attention of the public and the press. They're taking it seriously. Hips isn't telling his people to be safe.
Some are even being told they need to be more willing to
Jesse
go out
Waters
there
post
and
great
get
Gutfeld.
shot when fighting. That
Kaiser
was a direct quote. Get
Flickerman.
shot when fighting back against some of Trump's policies. How do you respond to that, Leader Jeffries?
Well, we are in a more is more environment in terms of the unprecedented assault on the American way of life.
Democrats are now saying that
Yeah, I know it's a civil offense to be here illegally. It's not a federal crime, though.
it's just a bunch of trigger-happy killers.
Yeah, we're different from other countries. Red to mango. We're different from other countries, dude.
Is that every single person in the United States of America, U.S. citizens, white, black, brown, whoever you are, you have to worry now that an ICE agent is going to come and shoot at you and kill you.
They're saying all illegals
Yeah, talking to
aren't
Blitzer
criminals,
looks high as
but
fuck.
you and kill. Worry now. They're saying all illegals aren't criminals, but all ICE agents are. The
That's not what we're saying at all.
Maryland dad gets due process. This ICE agent.
Yeah, neither justify lethal
Agent
force.
gets
That's
none.
something else we need to keep
They're
in
saying
mind,
put your
ladies and
body on the
gentlemen.
line.
Just because someone committed a crime does not mean their punishment is
Because ICE is
execution.
going to shoot you in cold blood in your car.
The message from this administration is clear. Only they determine the truth.
Is this what Fox News is now, by the way? Just
And when
like
their forces
clips
come
and
to your
all
city,
this?
obey or die. And if you die, you clearly didn't obey.
That's a late night comedy show. The former governor of
That's a late night comedy show. What amazing commentary,
Minnesota,
Jesse Waters.
the Body Ventura, no relation, just declared war on the federal government. Watch.
We have leadership now that has destroyed the Constitution. They don't follow it. They could care less about it. Am I right or wrong? I took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I view after January 6th, the Republican Party as a domestic enemy
Waters is so fucking smug. Me? No, I don't think. I wasn't talking
to
about
our
you.
Constitution.
Why are the Democrats starting a civil war over 40?
Oh, look at this. Look at this Civil War talk from Jesse fucking Waters.
I'm confused. Have you ever seen these people fight so hard for Americans? I've never
Yes,
seen it.
I have.
People who put on a
That's why we shut down the government.
badge and uniform and swear an oath to obey the Constitution every day, they're the enemy? The agents protecting the country from gangs and drugs, they're the ones being called Nazis?
I'm not saying to get rid of ICE. I never said we should get rid of ICE, man. You're fighting demons.
And being hit with cars?
Wasn't Jesse Ventura a Republican at one point?
Tim
I'm
Walz
not
just
too
called
sure, actually.
Minneapolis the new Gettysburg.
But that was
And they're
badass.
drafting women to fight.
I quit my job for this, and I've been having flare-ups and stuff, so it's like I can barely, and I have panic attacks.
She quit her job.
Oh my god, dude. This is just slop coming from Fox News. I don't think we'll be, I don't think we're going to continue. Hey, can you explain if you're so centered? Never said I was centered. I'm a lifelong Democrat and will probably continue to be. Polls are doing for your members. These are the same polls that said Kamala was going to win by 15 points. So, and tell me how your representative is ready to change the situation. Well, it's typically Democrats are the only ones advocating for independent commissions that fix gerrymandering laws. So that would be one of the main reasons, one of the main things that would help our democracy. Anyways, I think we're probably getting into the end here because Jesse Waters is just soying out, and I don't think I see Greg anywhere here. Oh, there's Greg. But he's got a long spiel. We'll start up on Greg tomorrow, you know? Greg is always my, Greg's always, oh, it's his leftovers too. Great. Anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna head out of here. I'm getting kind of, I gotta get ready for work, so that's unfortunate. But if you guys enjoyed the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. It means the world to me. You guys have been killing it with the likes today, killing it with the subscribes, and I really appreciate it. Oh, that's Timmy. Hold on. I really appreciate it. You know what I mean? I really do. You guys are killing it. So, stop trying to spin around the exact question I'm asking you. Well, you're going to have to ask the question tomorrow, man, because I am getting ready to head out of here. But I do need to send a raid over to Kalinda. Here soon, I'm going to have to... Actually, Kalinda has a lot of watchers right now. I think I'm going to actually raid Ice Beans. She doesn't have anybody. She has barely anybody right now in her stream. So I think I'm going to go raid Ice Beans. And oh my goodness, she's got makeup on. She's looking good today, guys. Go send her some love. Kalinda has a lot of viewers right now, so I don't want to, seems like she's doing just fine. So guys, go check out Ice Beans. She's a very good friend of mine. She does amazing content. She's a streamer and all sorts of stuff like that. And she's just a sweet person too. She's just a sweet person, a good friend, a very good friend that has helped me on a lot of issues I used to have with streaming and stuff like that. So go check her out. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get the music started and I will head out. But if you're not interested in Ice Beans, go check out Kalinda, who is also an amazing streamer. It was part of my sphere of streamers. Alright, I'm getting the music started and then I'll be out of here. Alright, soldiers. Move out! I'll see you in the future. You chill by? Thank you. I appreciate that, man.